Hola, hola, hola. Okay, that's a distracting. Hola, hola, everyone. How you doing? She got on makeup. 2 shows in a row. If you're wondering what I'm referring to, Saturday. Um, Obviously coming back from a different time zone. It takes a little bit of time to get acclimated, and because it takes a little time to get acclimated, I was up. I was wide awake, and so I was playing with makeup and things like that. And then Rebecca said, "Oh, T, your makeup looks so good." So I said, "Well, okay, well, let me go ahead and give it a try again." If you seen me an hour ago when I was on with Lizzie, you'd be like, "Woo, she worked a miracle." So here we go. Here we go. Shout out to Marissa McCartney. Marissa's, I don't even know if her channel was the same. So I knew that she had changed her name and stuff. She does a retreat in the Lone Star retreat in San Antonio, Texas. And she did a makeup class. I tried to pay attention. Here we go. But guess what? Here's the important thing. Um, I didn't put any type of liquid makeup. I just used powder. So we may have a winning combination. Before, I think I put the powder on first, and then I tried to put the liquid on top of it, and it was like a big sticky. I made mud, y'all. I made mud. How y'all doing? Welcome to Hump Day Happenings. I am your host, Princess Tia, and hopefully you guys are crafting. Obviously, I'm gonna give you some content so you can craft away too. Make sure you drop down in the chat and let me know. Y'all know what the weather's like in your neck of the woods. While y'all are doing that, I'm gonna get in here and say hola to everybody who's already here. My nuts, my nuts is not feeling well. She thinks it's due to the weather. I can understand that. I have something, I'm pretty sure if you guys come to my show, you hear it. Something in my voice, something's there. So I trek off to the unknown East Coast. I'm in Saginaw. Beautiful area. Beautiful area. There's right outside of Frankenmuth, Michigan. Very, very close to the Canadian border. Freezing cold. Freezing cold. Now, I always do the what's the weather like in your neck of the woods. I had checked weather, but I think y'all had a cold front that came through. The weather lied to me. It told me it was going to be like 56, 57. That's freezing to me, but it was more like 36. Lord Jesus, I was so cold. I was cold. If you guys watch Morning Laughs, I'm not going to revisit too much, but I was cold. So I come back here. I'm trying to acclimate. It's climbing here. It was already like 99. It never hit 100 though. So I come back here. I'm trying to get readjusted. It's like 85. It goes from 85 to 104. Whew. It's been kind of pecked on the opposite end now. And so because of that, my body feels like it's trying to continuously catch up to the weather where I am. And Mother's Day, which was a wonderful day. A shout out to my baby girl. She wanted me to get out of the house. You guys know I'm mobility changed right now. And we get out of the house, we're walking. I'm like, who is it? I'm already walking slow. I think that saved me because I'm so slow, I'm not working up a sweat. Anyway, I feel, I don't know why, but my mind is stuck on when I came back at 85, but it wasn't 85. We are outside walking. It's like 104 degrees. And I'm like, no wonder I'm so hot. What that does drains you and things like that. So I'm still here. I'm playing body catch up. But I'm not claiming anything as of right now. So hopefully, this will continue. Hola, Linda. How are you doing? Tammy, hey, cuz. She says it's 77 degrees now. It was at 89 was a hot. So it is coming down. I think it was 95 today. However, I really wouldn't know because my air, when we came in from Wonderful Mother's Day, we had a puddle of water down our hallway, right outside the closet where our air conditioning unit is. So we had a leaky air conditioner, and that kind of makes for worrisome days and things like that. We had to wait for maintenance to come out. I'm not sure what occurred. Maybe multiple units had the same issue. I'm not sure. I checked in every day, but they did come out today. They were here for about 3.5 hours, ruined the middle part of my day, because they were making a ton of noise and things like that. So it was a lot of noise. It was drilling and things like that going on. I'm not 100% sure what they needed to do, but they literally said that it was clogged. Like, we got to do all of this for a clog. Unclog it. Get Mr. Rotor Rooter Man out here or something. But all this noise in the middle of the day, unnecessary, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. However, I got through it. I guess I didn't have much choice. uh, uh, Matt's in the house. What's up, Matt? How you doing today? I love that diamond painting. I'm not sure which one she's referring to. I'm pretty sure it's not one that I've done. uh, um, Everyone saying hello. Rhonda says, "Hola, Princess Tia. Hola, Rhonda. Hi, Mary. Mary's the new bestie. She really looked out for me, and I really appreciated her. Long time no see and chat. Oh, everyone's saying hello to everyone. That's beautiful. Heather Keever's in the house. Hello, Heather. Margaret. How you doing, Margaret? Lizzie's in the house. What's up, my boo? Don't I look different?" uh, Michelle Hunter, how are you tonight? Tannis, I got your message. I'm going to message you back in a little while. Lizzie, it's cold. It's cold. Linda says it's raining there. They're in Canada. So, hello.
Do you have AAA batteries? And so pain pills? Because I think when I listen to they're coming in.
You're going to show it to me right now? I'm live. You probably should take 4 ibuprofen. That'll take the... Huh?
A lot of pain.
4 ibuprofen. That'll take the inflammation out. I got some Ambisol in my room on my other desk. You could put it on the spot. It'll take the pain away topically. I got to solve every problem. You're going to keep asking. I don't have any triple A's. I have double A's, but not triple. And I'm in the middle of a show. There we go. Sorry. There was a quick mom moment. It's raining in Canada. It's 45 in Toledo, Ohio. That's kind of cold right there. I mean, that's very cold. You made mud. Yes, I did. Right on my face, and it was bad. It's clear in 68 in northern Alabama. Oh, mid-50s here. Pretty significant hailstorm earlier today. Whew. Make sure you get your car checked. That might be something that, get you a new paint job all around. At 62 in Missouri, everyone's saying hello. Momo! Momo's in the house. That's my girl. Me and Momo were talking, I think it was yesterday. We still shop AliExpress. We are each other's enablers. Tammy says the one that's on your entrance screen, Japanese one. Oh, okay. I know which one you're talking about. That that canvas right there. I think Sue Bell, um, Rochelle, myself, and a couple other people. We got the canvases to do Ticket to Ride. We're gonna do Ticket to Ride. I'm pretty sure they all got started on it. I don't even think I unsealed it. A lot of my canvases are still in their box with the cellophane wrapping on them. And so I'm hearing more and more about this Asian along, where like people are pulling out some of their Asian canvases. You guys know I'm stuck in Seoul, South Korea. I don't know if I would say Seoul, but I definitely am stuck in South Korea and maybe Southeast Asian culture right now. I've been there for a couple of years now. I do watch mostly Korean, so a lot of Chinese also, movies and things things like that. And because of that, I seen a that reminded me of that canvas. And so I was like, I should grab it. The problem I had, like, are you guys able to hear me? Are you able to hear me? I'm trying to come in on my backup device in case you are. Okay. Hopefully, in the event that I do. How about now? Left, right, right, left. Left, right, right, left. One moment, I do apologize. Yes. All right. All right, how about now? Hopefully, I'm back and you guys. It's choppy. We see you too. um, I'm trying to see. Did it improve? It was my new mobile provider. I was cussing because I was on with them yesterday for 5 hours and thought I had to do it again. That's me, Momo. I'm punking you. So you guys know I have three internets. There is one that's in the hallway. That's why I don't like to have that door closed. The unfortunate part is I wasn't connecting to that one. I was actually connected to the one on the other side of my apartment. So, because it's further and there's a lot of rooms in between, that signal is a lot weaker. I'm not sure why, but I didn't check to see which one I was on. Then I tried to come in on my mobile because I have 5G on that one. So, hopefully, you guys can see me. Clear sound at the moment. Okay. Good, good, good. Clear sound. Sounds like there's internet. I connected to, you know, I, I think that's me trying to come in. Just came back. It's great now. Okay, only Tia would have internet drama. Listen, listen. Forgive. Please forgive. Okay. So we got through what's the weather like in your neck of the woods, and then obviously I started to have some issues and things like that. The next thing I want to do is kind of move over to what you watching. Besides me, what are you guys watching? I just kind of, trailed off and let you guys know I do watch a lot of international TV. I mostly watch international TV, but every once in a while something pops up that grabs my attention. I do like women's NBA. I say women's because it's just more exciting right now than the men. I've been watching the women for the last few years. Um, they just are more exciting than the men. I don't know. Maybe it's because they're more petty. But uh, they're just more exciting than the men. So I am watching women's NBA. I do every once in a while enjoy tennis as well. Tennis. But I feel like I'm just like the Williams sisters. I really can only be bothered for the four major slams. The rest of them, yeah, yeah. Did you win? But I am there in the well, not in the audience, on Tennis Channel for the four major slams, and I feel like that's all they felt they had to do. They didn't want to really be athletes. They, part-timed it and things like that. So I understood, some of the controversy around, why they were, named number one and things like that. They're only doing 10 out of 542 tournaments a year. Um, they did the ones with all the money and all the points. Good strategy, I think. Good strategy. Maybe in hindsight is always 2020. um, let's see. Uh I have finished Landman. Okay. Was it good? Give us a premise on it. I'm catching up on Virgin River. Virgin River, I think, is something that I think that's one of Lizzie's shows and things like that. What channel is it on? Where can we watch it at? And are you able to do it while you're crafting? That's what I think I was looking a little bit more for. Is a lot of my Korean shows I've had to move over to Chinese because Chinese shows are dubbed. A lot of times you can get, now it's not great. AI dub it. AI is laid over everything right now. But at least they're taking the time to do a lot of the Koreans, you gotta read. You're gonna have to read and things like that, which is how we learn. So don't be surprised if you see me break out in in some Korean jargon and things like that. The unfortunate part is a lot of their stuff is not dubbed, and so I'm reading, but it does take away from me being able to craft and things like that, and so what I've been doing is trying to kind of work my way back into, sorry about that, I got a scratch or something right here. Trying to work my way back into at least English dubbed shows and things like that. So I'm wondering what you guys are watching so I can maybe join in. Are you crafting when you're watching it? Um, Don says it's about the oil industry and it's on Paramount Plus. I do have that. Landman is really good. I can listen to them, but not watched dubbed. You see, it makes it difficult. Dutton Ranch is starting soon. I can't wait. March 15th. You mean May? May 15th? Or did I miss something? Does watching Lizzie dress geese on YouTube count? Yes, Matt, it does. Did you guys see the video? Lizzie put the rain jacket and umbrella on that damn duck. I can't believe it myself, you know. She said, yes, it does. Um, all I know is, where is my boy Artie at when all of these shenanigans are going on? Lizzie called Crystal out in hers, like, hey, right, Crystal, we gonna have fun. She got her a partner in crime when it comes to buying these clothes. They sharing links on where you can get the cutest duck outfits at. Like, this is crazy to me. This is really crazy. But make sure y'all stay tuned, because she says she's doing it every month. I'm gonna watch every month just to see what she put on this thing. You know, she go outside. It's about to be a rainstorm. Somebody get outside. I can't wait to hear her ask Clem to go change the duck. I want to be a fly on the wall when she has that conversation with him. Clem, can you go change the duck? Can you imagine? I can hear Clem like, if you want that duck changed, you better get up and go change it. Just go change the duck and blend in. Uh, Hola, how are you this evening, Rebecca? And a yellow slicker. When I tell you, Dawn, I was not shocked about the raincoat. That makes sense. It's like, you know, we all have a weather rock, right? All of us. We all have a focal point that we can look out our window and say, hey, I checked that focal point, and it's wet, which means it's raining. I checked that focal point and it's covered in white stuff, which means it's snowing. I checked that focal point. It's dry and the sun is high and shining above. I mean, it's hot out. Um, but did we need a goosey Lucy? You got it, Julie. The name of the duck is Goosey Lucy. There we go. I want to hear quack quack sounds also. Scarpetta on Prime is really, really good. Death watch good. Lucy get her ring gear. So a lot of people watch that. Uh, Rebecca saying, "Hola, Momo." Hey, Peggy Westrom. How are you this evening? So geese were it during the 80s. I'm hearing that, Dawn. Been to quite a few channels, but everybody that was like kind of looking and things and maybe trying to shop and buy. That's all they kept saying, is this thing was huge in the 80s and things. So it's coming back around. Michelle, it's back around though. It is. Make sure you guys tune in once a month to Lizzie World of Gems. She is going to be, she doesn't go live. She, except for our morning laugh shows, she does mostly whipping chats and, you know, keep unboxings and things. But make sure that you guys tune in. She is going to dress this thing once a month, and then she's going to showcase it on her channel. But to Matt's question, if you watch, of course, that's international TV. It's great, good, wholesome. My whole kitchen was ribbon geese in the 90s. Okay, ribbon geese. Well, there we go. I don't know what ribbon geese is. That might be a Canadian thing. We'll have to see. But I'm eagerly anticipating the very next outfit. You wouldn't want to know what my husband would say to me about dressing a grease goose duck, whatever it is. Tammy, I'm pretty sure Artie was giving me, he was representing the husbands, is all I'm going to say. He definitely was. I can't stand Crystal. So she just sent me their outfits. Look at this. And you know, Lizzie got the raincoat already. But I'm going to tell you the truth, Tammy. Artie represented. He represented well all of the husbands. I just stood there as his backup and kind of repeated everything he said. No, you're not going to dress this damn duck. He told me the story about their neighbor. That was hilarious. Um, it's just funny. It's great. They are. She said they're cute. Maybe they're cute. I realized today when I picked my mom up, she has a concrete goose and one of her. Oh my goodness! See how it's everywhere at this point. One of her flower beds, but she doesn't dress it. Okay, well you know what? Don't introduce her to Lizzie and Crystal. It's a thing. Get some culture in your life with Lizzie. Look at him. Matt there posted the link. Good job. Good job. Good job. So, for my What You Watching, I tuned into Netflix. I think what I was trying to do at the time, I had just got a few orders in, and so plus I was trying something new, some new techniques and things like that, and so I wanted my hands to be busy while I was trying to watch TV. I couldn't really afford to. I really couldn't afford to have to read and things like that. So what I did was I said, let me get on Netflix and kind of see, what's popping, what's going on. Now, there is a show that took me back, probably took me back a little over 30 years ago. What it's called, um, I don't know, funniest comic in America, funny AF or something like that with Kevin Hart. And what he is doing is he started in so many different towns, like three different towns, and he showcased up and coming comics in those towns, gave them feedback and the opportunity to earn a berth onto like a final, showdown show where they get their own Netflix show. Now, if anybody's been watching for a while, I started in stand up comedy. That's how I ended up here in Vegas, and it was through a show called Funniest Mom in America. So this show is kind of stylized the same way. It's bringing back so many memories and things. I kind of slipped up a couple of times since I watched the show. I started watching it with my son. And one thing that I know that my comedy did was it took a turn when I was younger than after I became a mom. So I was trying to get on stage, from probably 17 till I decided to go to college. I went off to college. I was 21, almost 22. And I moved into the dorms this old. So I was like old grandma to these 17-year-olds that were coming in and things like that. I had graduated early. And my goal was to explore a little bit before, I tried to settle down, think about school, real life, and things like that. And I promised my dad that by the time I was 22, if I hadn't hit it big, that I would go back home and go to school. So I tried my hand at stand up. I think I was funny. You used to being funny in school, right? Everybody has the friend that they look at and be like, she crazy, she silly. All my stories at that point were funny high school, funny on the field trip, funny when we went away to cheer camp or something. Those types of funny. And so some of the feedback that I received was that my comedy had to grow up with me. So we spanned a few years, I went to school. I have gotten out, I've been married, and now I'm trying my hand back at comedy. I'm going to tell you right now, just so you guys are aware, there's no funnier person than a person who used to be married. You have more than enough. Every single one of you have it in you to be a stand up comic if you were married or in a long term relationship. I'm talking where y'all lived in the same household and things like that before. Things that I used to get up on stage and try and chuckle, hee hee, chuckle, ha ha. If it was a moderate audience, they may giggle, you know. But when I tell you, yes, he did star in my first husband. He starred in almost all of my comedy shows. Almost all of them. He was the star of the show. I could start, middle, finish. on his lazy trifling, I don't feel like going to work. He was French, and he had a very thick accent, and his favorite line was, "I don't feel like going to work." So I'm gonna tell you right now, when I tell you that I had a lot of comedy sketches, built on him, um, it worked. It worked. But then you become a mom, and you transition again, right? So my next transition happened to, I wanted to, because I felt like, what if my kids come across something that I'm talking about? How do I want them to perceive me? So my comedy grew up again. I say this to say, there are things that I started to talk about that I didn't mind my kids hearing about, my struggles and things like that when I was a young girl. Um, Things that I found, antique romance is something else. Um, Things that, I always tried to make light of situations and things like that. You guys have heard the stories. You heard the McDonald's story. You guys have heard the who in the hell is Aunt Helen story. A lot of people like that. Everybody, for their own reasons, kind of, the burning down the house. That was me. I was like 4 years old, y'all. Give me some grace. So the burning down the house, but those were, for lack of any other way of saying it, those were tragedies, that I made light of and things like that. I held, myself accountable to growing from those and learning from those experiences because, I wanted to share, with the world. I wanted to be a little more accountable, kind of to myself, and, also make light of things that can happen that everybody can probably relate to. So I'm watching this show, and next thing you know, I'm feeling like, oh my goodness. A lot of the comics, I could feel that they were transitioning and things like that. Somebody who might have been in the first round, they came into the second round, they got better, or they got not so, not so much better and things like that. But it was really interesting to see. So that's what I'm watching. Hopefully, if you guys have, now there was a lot of cussing and things like that, and I remember transitioning from, foul language because I'm a mom, and I definitely didn't want my kids. They do it anyway, though, but I didn't want my kids walking around like shit, damn, f. and and so I tried to be mindful of that and to watch, how I communicated and stuff. They say the best comedians are those who have suffered. I would agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And I think that that's healing, in and of itself, because obviously when I've shared a lot of those traumas, we've all laughed together and things. One of the funniest stories that you guys always tell me that I tell you guys is the story of me getting shot. It's coming back to really haunt me, now. That bullet has grown wings. It's been keloided, and it's got, I mean, it's giving me all kind of problems, now that I'm 30. But again, from tragedy spawned just some, comedic, funny moments and things like that. And so that's what the show was doing for me. It was kind of renewing, that drive. I remember I went everywhere. I was at the Comedy Castle in Detroit. I remember I was at the Comedy House in Pittsburgh. I got on stage. I was trying to practice my set. I was in the flats. Oh my goodness, I'm old as heck. I was in the flats in Cleveland. If y'all ever heard of the flats, y'all know it's gone. It's been gone for over two, maybe 3 decades. But I was 30 my foot plus shipping and handling and tariffs. But I mean, the show definitely reminds me of just that era in my life where I was practicing my set. I was writing new material. I was trying to relate to a lot of different things, and kind of brought a smile back to my face, and definitely took me on a trip back in time and things like that. So hopefully you guys are getting that out of some of the TV and things like you're watching. I knocked out. When I tell you I was knocking out pins, I think I knocked out 21 pins watching the show. I was just, woo, I had a little I don't, I guess a chain gang going on and things like that. So I was proud of myself. Hopefully there's more TV out there to be had, to be watched, to be seen, so I could do the same thing. TV, is that a thing? It's not. Not anymore, honey. Like everything is streaming nowadays. I feel sorry for ABC. Is Fox still around? I feel sorry for them also. They gone first. If you are on their network, you need to start scrambling now. Find you a new network, get on an app. You might be more successful creating your own app. And here's what you can do. Y'all heard it here first. Here's what you can do. Make sure that you put AI after it. You know what I'm saying? Princess Tia app AI. I swear. That's what's going to make it successful. Now, it don't have to have any artificial intelligence involved at all. Just the name itself is coming up in, a search. So there you go. I've helped you out. I've solved for world peace. That's all we got to do. Now I know you guys love this next section. I want to talk about what's in your cart. So, how many people got an email today, a text notification about some mystery canvases that came, mic drop, right? That came out from Diamond Art Club? Huh? How many? I was on a site where somebody was like, "Oh my God, they're already gone. They're already sold out." So I'm not sure how long it had been, since it opened and things like that. Don't forget to support Tia. Yeah, don't forget to support Tia. Pompoutpins.etsy.com. Just, that's the best way to support me. Ramen noodles. Ramen noodles is what somebody told me my hair looked like years ago when it was in its when I'm wearing it curly. Yeah, I'm shocked y'all don't see the curls today. So I started to put my curls back today. It's that hot. It's that hot that I should be just wearing curls all day every day. Ticket to Ride 2027 Tia Pins, Pom Pow Pins. Ticket to Ride 2027. You guys, I don't know if I'm creating one. Obviously, that's what I'm going to be getting with Cheryl about if she wants me to create a pin for specifically for Ticket to Ride, or not. We're gonna check. Show. Oh my God, Shawana. What's up? Hey, Shawana. Jenny. I fell asleep and just woke up. Sorry for being so late. That's okay. You know why? Because you right on time. How you doing, Jenny? Jenny wrote, not wrote, she posted on her Facebook page today a cute little meme that shows you guys her definition of different types of friends. Final finale is tomorrow, right, Cheryl? What? Cheryl, we still got another finale? Is you right? so oh my goodness. How long is this one gonna be? I fell asleep on the last one. My apologies. I tried. I don't know what happened. I remember I was in there, I had my phone in my hand. It fell, hit me in the head. I woke up and I said, "Oh my gosh, prizes for the stories." Okay. It's May. You know that. It's May. It's May, girl. This is just a live an hour-ish. Okay, extended stay this year. Matt. um so anyway, Jen has this meme posted on her Facebook page of the different kinds of friendships. The funniest one is the kind that covers your butt. She said she compared them to underwear. Some got holes, some, but she she said they're good friends that cover your butt. And so many people were in there like, I want to be the kind of underwear that cover your butt. I want to be that kind of friend, but I don't want to be that kind of underwear. But with that said, I cover your butt. Hopefully that tells you how much love that you're getting. Need a Vegas vacay. July's coming, girl. July is coming. No but floss. No but floss. You talking about with the underwear? I gotta go back and read and make sure I'm looking at that one right. Um, um, did you see it? Yes, ma'am. Okay, so I'm reading it right. You're a nut. That's all I can say. You're a nut. So good job on the meme. Loved it. You're so bad. Yes, the undies. I don't know if I want to floss with them. Some are cheap and just plain and nasty, and some actually do cover your butt when you need them to. Oh, that means you got the right size. So you got a right size. That was a good meme. I really liked it. I thought it was really cute. So kudos to you there. Kudos to you there. We're back to talking about what's in your cart. Did anybody in here get a hold of this? What was it? It was something that came out with Diamond Art Club today. I obviously didn't get it. It's a new mystery box alert. You get 3 kits for 130. Unbox 2 never before seen designs, and then you were getting like one surprise kit. Sometimes you just need to chuckle. I agree. Who judged time of um who's the just that time of the month undies? Sometimes we have that. They do this all the time. Well, today when they did it, there were quite a few people who I guess were upset because they felt like they had got there really quickly compared to when the notification came out and they were already sold out. I tried, but I was at the hospital and service was not good, so I wasn't able to get it. I have never tried a mystery box. They are usually larger kits, and I don't do those. That could be true, larger kits and things like that. There was one that I've seen. It was by it's a horse by, I think her name is something Prindle. What's the artist Prindle? I'm not usually a huge fan of horses. I prefer unicorns. But her series of horses, they catch my eye. And I think sometimes that's all it is. I try to stay under 90 centimeters. I do too. I do too. I try. I should be shooting for under 40. Um, Lori Prindle. Thank you, Matt. Yes, Lori Prindle. So she had a mystery canvas. I think somebody told me it was number 89 or something. And it was a horse. And I seen it done. It was gorgeous. But obviously you have to know, and I don't like being surprised. I learned that I don't like being surprised. I did the mystery event back in 2021. No, 2020. I did a mystery event. Back then, you met someone, you got to know them, talked to them for a couple of months. Then, from what you knew of the person, you purchased a kit that you then, we had to work the mystery ourselves at that point, and we put the numbers on there, and then we roll it up with the diamonds and we send it to them, and then they work on it in section and things like that. Tia shoots for 0 cents. Nope, I don't. But shameless plug, when I'm not diamond painting, here's what I'm doing. I am creating pom pow pins. I sent a shameless plug to Marla. She was one of the winners of Splish Splash Spring Bass. And I sent her a shameless plug. And I'm being honest. She's an author. And she sent me a shameless plug back. If she's in here, please post your link um to where your book, she's an author. She wrote a book and it looks like it's a good book. I'm gonna probably end up getting it. I just have to think, when am I gonna sit down and actually have time to read? Because if I have time to read, guess what always runs through my mind? But I do want to be supportive. So, but she sent back, she said, "Am I shameless plug?" I thought that was so cute. Cheryl says it's an actual mystery. The mystery boxes are not mystery paintings, just surprise canvases. Now, I do spoiler alerts in the Ticket to Ride group. I learned from someone in our group that it's a good idea for, them to kind of post the picture in their comment. That way no one sees it openly if they're going through. Um, I do spoiler alerts in the Ticket to Ride group, so if you post me, you will get the image in your messenger. Oh, okay. Um, I've read I've read a book from Marla. So apparently she has four. I tried to, how you read the if you have the link, Tammy, can you go ahead and post that down below? But um you know how you read like the artist blurb and things like that. So I tried to read the artist blurb, and I believe it said that she has four books. This book that I, in particular, was her fourth. And so, shout out to Marla. Shout out to her. Again, if I read the blurb, it looks like it's really good. Marla's an author. I have known her. Hold on. I'm trying to get this to come up. I've known her through the years and never. Marla's an author? Yes, she is an author. Yep, novels. I'm not sure. I believe fiction means false. Yes, so they are fiction. Um, I'm pretty sure I've read a book. Yep, probably a book. I didn't know nothing about Marla and books or her being an author. Yep. So I'm gonna have to let me get her. Let me see if I can get it. You know, but I thought it was cute because I sent mine and she sent me hers right back. So let me go ahead on and try and get this up. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. What day did I send out the gifts? Anybody remember what day they received their gifts? Nope, that's not it. I'm gonna keep thinking. Yes, fiction. Fiction. Pretty sure. Here it is. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna get this to y'all. Here we go. All right. Copy. One moment. I'm gonna try and get this over. Oh, I don't think I'm sorry about that. I wasn't thinking. Um, I gotta paste it first, then copy it from there and put it in. On one moment. What's up, Lizzie? Mm. But yeah, I want you guys to all go over, see if it's something you would be interested in, and if so, send it to. There we go. That's even better. That's even better. Let me send it to my girl. All right. Alrighty. So there we go. So I'm always shameless plugging, but I'm also always saying thank you guys for supporting my small business. I get a lot of questions, a lot of feedback. You guys are really reaching out. The feedback is really positive. I appreciate that also. Not that I don't, I don't want any negative feedback. But I mean, if you got to reach out to me to tell me something, I appreciate that also. At least it's not going through a public forum, you know. Um, other than that, I'm trying my hardest to make sure that, the pins are fun, they're accommodating, useful. More importantly, when we pick a canvas, we're changing the scenery. We're changing. Do we all do the same exact types of canvases every time? No, we have a change of pace. Just like when we select our clothing, we, change our outfits, we change our hairstyle. Now, I don't really change my hairstyle too much, but you get where I'm going with this. So why not swap out your pen? And then, with something that makes it a little bit easier, I'm hearing that, obviously, if you're a multi-placer versus if you're a single placer, there could be an issue. But that's why you want a palm pow pen, because it makes it easier to flip from one side to the other. That's why I do this. They fit right in the palm of your hand. And yes, I can, my hands are not too small and things like that. But if you make a stinky pen, you get a featured segment on Tima's show. You, she shows my stuff without it. You could do that to stir up some hype. Stinky pen, huh? Cannot wait to wear normal to wear normal clothes daily. A few more months. Um, as opposed to what pom pow pins are the perfect size. Yeah, I do feel like they're the perfect size and things like that. So make sure you guys head on over and purchase. I do have a lot of you guys favoriting, so I gotta guess come up with some more stuff that I post to the store. I got a lot of pins. I gotta have the time to put the pins up in the store. Um, so that you guys can have a variety and you can keep coming back for more. Now, with that said, what will I be working on? Pins. Pins, more pins. Now, you guys know, if you've been around for a while, that I'm limited in what I can do over the summer months. It is that hot in the desert. Sometimes when I'm working with my clay, depending on where it comes from, the Belgian clay, it feels like it's coming right through my fingers. Like it's so soft and things like that. So that is a great time for me to kind of move over and maybe do some other stuff. I am going to be trying to get caught up on some diamond painting and to make some completes. You guys know I was working on a Mikey Bergman. I haven't gotten too much further on it simply because I had the loom room. The loom room is a place that Cheryl was trying to get me to. It's a joint venture. She wanted me to join the venture with her, and that way, have somebody to kind of loom with. I told you guys about this loom class I took of Rebecca's, and I borrowed somebody's loom. Anyway, they asked for it back halfway through the class. I wasn't expecting that. And I'm over there trying to pull my loom off my project off the loom. Like, I got to go buy this specific loom, or should I just take this yarn and just hand it on back? That was some decisions that had to be made. Oh no, Lizzie, I key stopped working. What did she do? I like my pens long and thick. I don't know what we're gonna do about this long. Lizzie like her pens phallic. I told you guys. So, much more fat than the rest. I don't know. Can y'all even see? I think I showed them on the show. I'm tripping. But at the end of the day, now you have your own loom. I do. I have a lot of them. I can create things now, probably clothes also. Um Beefy. Oh my gosh, you guys. So with that said, we definitely are shamelessly plugging, and I appreciate the support. Keep supporting. Don't let it go from there. What do I have coming up? Hopefully you guys are gonna be doing the same thing, but I am a sponsor for Captured by Tia's blushing. I am. You gotta feel how hot my face is. Um uh I'm going to be a sponsor for Captured by Radiance's Winter King Story events. Yay! You guys, I have created a pin that you guys will have the opportunity to win. I will be showcasing it next week, next Wednesday, as well as on Morning Laughs, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday as well. So you guys will have a chance to see the pin. Now, I do have some of you who have already expressed interest and purchased. I really appreciate that y'all are that vested in me that you've already purchased the pen that I haven't even shown yet. So, shout out to you guys. I really appreciate that kind of love and support. Love it, love it, love it. Cheryl said there's going to be a giveaway from Captured tomorrow on her live. Make sure you guys, tune into that. Um, the pin, I'm working on the name, me and Lizzie, but the pin is probably going to be named something after Captured by Radiance and things like that. They, even though I am an affiliate of another diamond painting company, they are just very, very supportive, and they turn pins. So, and I talked to you guys about this on our morning laugh show. They turn pins, and I'm telling you, I'm able to go to them and we talk color saturation. They talk with me about, just things that support my small business, and things like that. So I so appreciate them. And hopefully you guys are going to have a lot of fun with this event. I feel like it's going to definitely be an event. I'm purchasing. I'm waiting on, I want the Seven Bride of Chucky to come back, but I'm looking at Eden Cove. It's a couple of different things on their site that I have in my cart that I got my fingers crossed and I'm waiting on and things. So we'll see. But this is going to be a fun event. So many people are interested in it that I'm so excited to see what the photos are looking like, what each person's canvas is going to be like, who is going to get theirs and just go all out and bling it out. I'm excited. This is an event it's so different, and I feel like because of the saturation and the different colors and things. um oh, I love Eden Cove. Yep, Momo, that one is whew. um so I feel like you guys are, gonna be showing us, especially, for like people like Mary, our blingers. They, aren't afraid to kind of get out there, do something different. I'm looking forward to seeing what Cheryl and Tima do a little bit different. I'm excited about that. And so it's been, except for my events, shameless plug, blinging in the new year, love is in the air, splish splash spring bash, and our fall event, which is hashtag blast from the past. Um, this one I've been really excited about. Not that I'm not excited about our events, but we're hosting them. This one right here, get to kind of sit back, relax. I'm excited about, what I get to see, and hopefully to see some people doing, some things outside of the box. Let's make it fun. Let's get, outside the box. Let's get crazy. Um, One of the things that I think lots of water in the Eden Cove series might actually get Tia to finish the canvas. Keep in mind, this blast from the past, y'all probably will see it finished. And the reason is because I probably won't, like August is our hottest month of the year. And don't I don't really work with clay a lot. I mean, I'd have to get this room. This will be my first year really working in here because my kids just put this together last year. So it'll be my first time working in here, and I probably am going to have to, I'm scared to do it because I was going to get a little fridge to go in here, but now I'm scared to do it. I know that you guys heard about me when I talked about it Saturday morning on our morning lives. I tripped the power in here trying to blow dry my hair before the retreat. And I jacked up my laptop. So my brand new laptop, the one that I bought in December. I was telling you guys, remember I bought one and it was a Chromebook and I couldn't go live on the Chromebook. It kept shutting down. So I went out and bought a second one and I gave the Chromebook away. So after I gave the Chromebook away, I'm like, I'm spending all this money on I did pay cash for that laptop, thank God. Because I'd be upset right now if I was financing it and the laptop don't work. I mean, it doesn't do anything. I went to different plugs around the house. I took the plug and went and got a different power plug and nothing. Did you plug into a power bar? No, that's where I messed up. The next one, all of the rest of this stuff is now into a power bar so that that doesn't happen again. That surge hit that laptop and killed it. It's gone. It's done. So unfortunately, unfortunately, Matt is being funny. Sounds like you might have freed the power supply to the left. I did. I fried the power supply. Tried everything. It's nothing. It won't come up. So I was going to buy another laptop. If you guys watched this Saturday morning, you know a lot of people were saying you probably need to buy a gaming laptop, which means I'm going to spend at least $1,000. But if you guys remember, it hasn't even been 2 months that I just bought this $2,000 phone. $2,000. Yes. Do I love it? Yes. Was it worth it? Yes. Um, I had bought a six last year. This was the seven. And the reason I got it is because I got such a large discount off of it that the price of the six and the seven together was like 4,000 something. But it made it feel with the discount that I had received off of the six and the discount, it made it feel like I got both of those for like 1,500. So that's why Samson. Yep. So that's why I got it, because it was a savings. I'm like, whoa, yeah, I'm saving. Plus, they also had where you can double the not only could you get the 256 gig for like I think it was 19.99 or 21.99 or something like that, but you could double it and get the 512 gig for that same price. So I buy mine directly from Samsung.com. I know you can get phones and you can finance them through your cell phone company, I think. I buy mine directly from Samsung.com. I get all the points and things like that. That way, if I want to buy something else, boom, you know. So I still got a deal, bought it directly. Um, Here we go. She's scheming to be cheap. I'm trying to get there, trying to get there. So, people that know that I bought the phone, right? Say to me, but I thought your phone could turn into a laptop. I'm like, what? Yeah, I thought you could turn those into a laptop. So, question that you guys can post in chat, or if you're watching back on hashtag replay. I have watched some videos since. Obviously, you know, we all go to YouTube and we get educated on everything about something we about to buy because we know somebody else bought before us. So I go and I watch videos and I'm checking. And yep, you can get a mini keyboard. Oh my goodness. When I tell you I had no idea the things that could be done, like on this device, it's crazy funny to me because you can turn this little thing into it's funny. You can turn it into a laptop where you have a screen right here, and then you have a keyboard, a trackpad, all of that right there. And it's in laptop mode. The other thing, that's if you want to work on this device. Now, the other thing you can also do is you can connect using this little USB-C. You can connect it directly to like a touchscreen monitor. And there's software called Samsung Dex. And the Dex is what allows you to be able to then use that touchscreen monitor as if it's the, laptop monitor. And then the last thing that I've noticed, you can go over to different sites. They do have them on Amazon to get a shell of a laptop. When I say a shell, it looks just like a laptop. You got the keyboard, you got the 10 key numeric pad. The screen is touchscreen. You got all of the peripherals along the side. It comes with a power cord. What it does not come with is the central processing unit and motherboard, because your phone is that unit. And when you plug in your phone to this laptop shell, it in essence turns it into a laptop. So the question for you guys, because I am, obviously seriously thinking about this as opposed to paying a whole 1,000 or 2,000 more on a gaming laptop, is if I were to purchase this, does anybody know? And I'm not getting this question answered. Um, all I need a laptop to do is when I go live, I want to be able to share the screen that I'm looking at with you guys. What's in your cart is just not fun unless I can actually show you What's in my cart? When I see a sale on diamond paint, I want to be able to show you guys. Captured by Radiance had, I said, Eden Cove. Guess what? It's the only canvas that I probably got the name right on all year, right? And wouldn't it have been nice if I could have and showed the screen to you? I'm just saying. So so what I'm saying to you guys is, if I purchase this, which I'm probably going to do, let's be honest, um, will I be able to share my screen with you guys while I'm going live? You know, will it actually recognize that device as a desktop or as a laptop? Or will it still prevent me from being able to share my screen, which you're not able to do on mobile devices? So that's really, what's stopping me. You are sharing the screen via StreamYard. Told you, you're cheap. um, that laptop, Harry carried itself to get away from Tia's internet. Um, it probably did do all of that. But so that's where I'm at right now. Again, I just was like, another $1,000. Goodness gracious. It's different when you're saving $1,000. This one right here is just, this laptop stuff is just coming out. And I literally had no idea, because I don't use the laptop. I do use my device, which means I'm getting my money's worth out of this expensive phone. I mean, I'm paying more. I remember my first, I think I had the HTC HD2. That was the one where you saw the date numbers on the front. It was, when I saw that phone, I never forget. It was 2010, I think it was 2011. I saw that phone, and you could do all the things. I love the phone so much. I'm on the phone. I probably had the phone for 3 years at this point, maybe a little bit longer. But I had no desire. Everybody was iPhoning it up at this point. No desire to switch phones. None. I could do everything I need to do right here on my HTC HD2. I'm on the phone. Everything's fine. Hello, how you doing? Yeah, no, let me go. Boop, 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 boop. Fine. 3 minutes go by. I go to use I can't do nothing. Like, it literally just was like, and then stopped. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't do anything else on the phone. Hurt my heart. Hurt my heart. That's what happens when you become loyal to something. They're never loyal back, right? Never loyal back. Anyway, Um, Matt says probably still a mobile platform. I have no idea on the streaming stuff side though. Come on, Matt. I thought maybe you would have been able to crack the case. Cheryl says I have a gaming laptop and I will never ever use all it can do. I feel the same. Let's be honest. The kid is technologically challenged. I am. But you guys know I have all of the technology. I don't know why. I have anything that's latest, greatest. Lizzie say I got a shopping problem. She thinks I have a shopping addiction. I wouldn't say that. I would say I like to have the latest stuff, the latest tech and things like that. However, I don't game. So because I don't game, there's absolutely no reason why I should have the latest tech in that forum. But I do like to bring guests on. I do like to showcase your work and kind of share it. And I love having contests and giveaways. And so those are things that I do on the laptop. I'm able to do it, from the background also, because a lot of times I'm still streaming live here on my iPad. So I'm going to cross my fingers and I'm going to try the shell case. I want you guys to rein in on whether you think it'll be a good idea or not. Or should I just go ahead on and spend $1,000? Keep in mind, I do have a retreat coming up. I'm still going to Timos next month. Um, so and that's the other thing. Can't wait to get that under my belt also. I don't know yet how I'm getting there. I'm wondering, should I fly? You guys know Shelzaba, she lives here in Vegas with me. She's my psych nurse. She wants to drive all the way in. I'm not fond of that. Um I may fly into Wichita, hang out with Rebecca, get a hug or two in, and then Melinda's supposed to be coming through that way. Maybe, hitch a ride with her. Or the last option, flying into Grand Rapids. My sister got a long drive ahead of her and maybe joining her for that. So there are options. You guys stay tuned because obviously I'll be sharing that with you guys as I kind of pick and see how we're going to, travel into the retreat. Get that camper. I would love to do that. That is one of the things that Shelzaba keeps saying. She said, why don't you just get something to hook it up to Butterfly? Butterfly, I don't know, that's my baby. I don't know about having her, trek the world like that yet. so so we'll see. uh Lizzie says you don't have all the technology because you won't buy the gaming computer. Listen, Lizzie, that's probably coming up, all right, because I'm worried that it won't work. Cheryl says, since it had it custom made, seems it was more for his wish list and not mine. I agree with that. I don't know. My son has a gaming laptop and things like that. And it's getting to be outdated. I think he got it in maybe 2019, something like that. And so I'm noticing he doesn't use it as much and stuff. Matt says, I don't think you need a gaming PC for streaming, though. Major upgrade to being able to edit with a graphic card, but not streaming. No, I don't need it for the streaming. And I don't need it for the editing if you're going to edit on your device. There are some editing softwares for doing videos and things like that work really great. I'm hearing that a lot of the content creators that are using it for and doing a lot of heavy video editing, they said that putting it in desktop form, they kind of lose user interface usability. So it's better to do the editing, although it's a smaller screen, that they do get better, results when they try to edit directly using their finger on the device. Obviously, I don't need to do all of that. I don't create videos and things like that. I just need it to recognize that it's a laptop or desktop so that StreamYard allows me to share screens. And I use the sharing of the screen for contests, giveaways, for the what's in your cart. I used to also show you guys the what's the weather like in my neck of the woods. I'm just telling you guys now, but just for the ease and use. Otherwise, everything I would be able to do, I could still do on my iPad. And you guys know this iPad is what, 8 months old. I just got it either last summer or last fall. My mind was a little foggy back then, so give me some grace. But I think I got it last fall. In any event, like Lizzie said, I got everything, so I'm pretty sure a gaming laptop is going to be it. But I just need to be able to share my screen and things like that and not get kicked out, and to be on the right internet when I am here. Then July it is. Did anyone look to see what is wrong with your laptop? Yes. They said it's fried. I went in person because I was trying to place an order online, and Lizzie said you have to go in person and shop. So I go in. I went to Best Buy. There's not a lot of places to shop anymore. Staples. I think Office Depot is still open. You got to find it though. Or is it the other way? No, yeah, Office Depot. You just got to go find it and things like that. But I wouldn't buy there anyway. So I went to Best Buy. Um, at Best Buy, they do have a section where they would be able to work on it. They told me they wouldn't be able to though because I didn't buy it there. That would sucked. But they do have like a where you can pay to get it diagnosed and things. I paid to get it diagnosed just for them to tell me that even though this is what's wrong with it, we wouldn't be able to work on it. And you didn't buy it here. You what? That makes no sense to me. But yeah, it's fried. They tried all different power sources as well. I was literally there to kind of shop. At that point, I had a price point in my mind, 700 or below. But clearly I'm gonna need to spend more than that. So that's why I left because they still didn't have the power that I was looking for. What do you guys have? If you have a laptop, what kind of laptop is it? Are you Chrome? If you're just watching us, then you probably can do a Chromebook. I tried to go the cheap route and do a Chromebook. That's when I kept getting kicked off. So I'm definitely sure I can't buy a Chromebook. During your video designing and intros and stuff would be a drastic difference though, and how quickly that goes. I'm gonna tell you right now, Matt, for that 34-second intro that you guys saw, I worked hard on it. It took like 12 hours. I'm just saying, I got 2 days to do something on this little thing. Because I'm pretty sure that's what it would be. Go with J Rob. J Rob is my business partner. That's true. But they're all Apple. She does a lot of Apple stuff. Yes, if you don't hurry, you'll be 40 before you know it. Way too old. Sure. Matt says, I just looked to have the latest connectivity stuff. What Wi-Fi card, Bluetooth, and stuff like that. Don't really need the graphics card for streaming. That's the most expensive component by far. Correct. I don't need a great graphics card or anything like that. I can do a lot of my videos and editing on my iPad, and they come out a lot better. But I don't do the stuff enough for me to remember. So when I made the Love is in the Air commercial, I did that like 4 or 5 years ago, and every year I have the hardest time updating it because I forget where I did it at, what I used. There's people who haven't been on the show in 2 or 3 years. You've seen their pictures still coming up. So just because I forgot how to go in and take the pictures out. If I did something on more regular basis, or if I cared enough to go over to YouTube and watch the videos, I probably would be a lot better. Um, I guess I gotta care a little bit more. But that time that I could be watching those videos on YouTube, you already know I'm watching shows from Korea. Costco. Oh, that's a good idea. Costco. My son said, Costco, keep the cost low. So that's a good idea. Maybe heading over to Costco to see what they have. Muttnut says, okay, all night. I'm off to get a hot bath and then bed. Have a live to do tomorrow. Make sure you guys head over and watch Muttnut tomorrow at 2 Eastern. That's 11 Pacific. She's going to be going live. What is your topic? I can send you the company who makes them custom. Yes, send me the company that makes them custom. Chromebook is still Android-based system though, much different than even another budget PC. I have an Apple iPad. Yeah, that's what I have. I got the big giant one. What is this one called? 13M4, the 13-inch M4 or something like that. That's the one that I have. You may take up gaming. I could. I don't know if I want to, but I could once I get this. What the hell videos do you edit? I did the splish splash. Don't tell me that wasn't a good video. Then 9 p.m. Ticket to Ride. 9 p.m. Let them know if that is Eastern or if that is Pacific. That way we can, and where are we going to be at? Is it going to be on Facebook or is it going to be on, I was shocked you was on YouTube last week. You gave me a heart attack. Like, what's going on? Oh, it's 9 Eastern, so that's 6 Pacific. Matt says, I have a custom gaming PC that was way too expensive when I had the money. Those are nice. A Microsoft Surface Pro. I use my Samsung tab the most. See, that's what I'm I barely used, and I'm telling you, I barely used the laptop. It stayed in here, and when I came to sit down to do hump day happenings, and then every other Saturday morning when I sat down to do morning laughs, that's the two times that I would be on it. Now, it was great because, again, we could do contests and things like that. We limited in what we can do, and that's the only unfortunate part. So if I had a way to be able to do, the contest, share my screen and what's in my cart, then it wouldn't bother me so much. But I love looking at everybody's artwork together and things like that. So I'm kind of missing that, seeing what you guys are working on and stuff. I want to do that. The grand finale is always on YouTube. Okay, we did that last week. Let's see you. You did the video for Splish Splash that we got dinged for, not once, but twice. I'm gonna wake you up, Lizzie. We got dinged 3 times. Remember, we got dinged Saturday, and plus we got dinged 2 times before. Wake up. Matt, mine is crazy expensive, and I will never use all the features. That's my fear. Also, I'm not a gamer, and so the power behind a gaming PC just to be able to, but I know I have to be able to stream without being kicked off. And so some of the processors, they just aren't strong enough to, maintain. I'm not sure why. So you guys always see me live on my iPad. That processor must be strong enough. And then I always had a second window that was open, that was the laptop. And so when you guys seen me sharing screens and things like that, I was working in the background. I was logged into the account on the laptop, and I would click share the screen from the laptop, but I'm live and using the processor and the camera and things here from the iPad. So we'll see. I think you can get a Surface in your price range, and it is very nice. The gaming desktop was kind of a waste of a couple K to only get nostalgic with my gaming for a few months. I have enough memory for a city. That's what I'm looking at, like the the gaming laptop. Do you guys game? Remember when everybody would get off of their diamond paintings and then they would go and game? They got on either they were doing what was the animal one? Animal Crossing. They had the actual Switch, or they were doing, it was some kind of PC game that a lot of people were doing also. So this was 22 and 23. Everybody was, they would take their break from diamond painting to go game. Now it's Legos and things like that. So it's fun to watch, how we craft, and how we avoid burnout. I think that's the biggest thing that, we do when we transition over to something else. It's so that we can't wait to get back to diamond painting. And I'm going shamelessly tie that in to our except Lizzie. I'm gonna shamelessly tie that into our fall event that starts August 1st, and that is hashtag blast from the past. That literally is what we're doing. We're getting you guys to kind of go back to a time when you first started diamond painting. We want you to reacquaint yourself with that addiction that you initially had for it. So before you get burnt out, August is not fall. Um, no, it's not. To me, it's not. That's the height of summer for me. Um, but if you live somewhere where it's starting to get cold during that time of the year, um, you know, in May. We had to move it into August because we got so many people that's doing, their Halloween preps and stuff, and most of those start in September. So we're gonna get the crowd, and we're gonna make sure you got August cold. Not for me, not for me. That's our hottest month of the year. So if it's 105 in May, whew, I cannot imagine what it's gonna be in August. But it'll probably be hitting 120, 122. This year 124 and things like that. Hopefully, this air Just it doesn't give out on me. Matt says lots of RAM. I'm sure would certainly help with your type of multitasking that can always be added regardless of having all the other gaming components. I would think that that's probably more significant also. I just need to be able to have several pages and things like that, to be able to multitask so I can go from here over to this page, show it to you guys, and then come back. Without, obviously you guys will see distortion sometimes, and we sound robotic and things like that. I can't imagine, and I think like this is why you see some people with the gaming laptops, because they're able to add peripherals, they're able to add microphones, they're able to add buff sound buffers and things. They're able to add, I know I use these little what are these things called? Are they called widgets? This is funny to me. But we're able to add some of these things in directly from here. Where is that? You guys will let me know if you can hear it. They're able to add these in, but not from, I don't know if you heard that one. Yeah, I didn't hear it. Okay. Well, see, they're able to add those in, but not necessarily from within the studio platform. They're able, yes, a sound machine. That's what I was going for. They're able to add, peripherals like a sound machine, boing, things like that, without having to, just things that make it fun for you guys to be able to watch. Because I remember when I first started diamond painting, and this is why I still have so many people that I watch on YouTube, because when I need for my hands to be busy and things while I'm working on something, it's nice to be able to look up and you guys are making it fun. It's not boring. It's an interactive conversation and things. And I'm sitting here. I love when I talk back to the monitor. What, girl? Nuh-uh. Are you serious? That happened while I'm still, doing something. Or even when I'm diamond painting and things like that. And I got you guys and I'm plucking up. Oh, did she just say? Oh, Lord, no, she didn't. That is funny. And so that's the goal. That's the goal, is to make, continue to make the content fun. And, I can do more of those little cute video editing. Obviously, I got to get with J Robin. I got to get with Lizzie, because I'm not sure what happened and why we got dinged. I'm going to say this again, but the content that I utilized that we were dinged on was paid content, was paid for. Now, Honey Bunny said that she believes that if I pay for content use in Canva, which is what I used, I do also have iMovie and a couple of paid apps on my iPad, but I use Canva because I pay for that also. And I created something that I used the free music, but it didn't allow me to carry it over to YouTube. So we got dinged. Not once, not twice, but three times. We got dinged on the intro and outro. On the second one was the intro, and then we got dinged again this past Saturday. Because Lizzie, it's all Lizzie's fault. I'm gonna blame her. Yep, flagged. Um, Lizzie had me running it through her channel, and she had it stored as the intro and outro. She had fixed it and found a song that could be used in YouTube. But what didn't occur was we didn't bring it over to my channel. So when I went to set it up for Saturday, which she told me, you got to do it because I'm not doing it. I didn't pay. Oh, all of that. I'm like, oh, okay. Completely forgot. So I set it up. Everything's fine. We go running. And soon as the show start, we hear the old song instead of the new one. And I was like, oh, oh. You can add hard drive memory easily. RAM is not so easy on a mobile. Most laptops aren't hard, and desktop is. Yeah, I built a desktop. This was so easy to do until we got to the point where after you put the motherboard in, trying to add the software language so it can be recognized, and then the operating system could be added in. But I did it. It took me like 2 days. I kept going back. I'm looking up, I'm literally working in DOS and Linux and trying, but I built a computer all by myself from the case all the way out. I bought everything, all my own peripherals, and I put them in the slots. Oh, you'd have been so proud of me, Matt. I even had a little soldering iron so I could put stuff in place. um I didn't get electrocuted, but I almost did. I saw sparks and things like that. Oh, you know configure my fan, all of that. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I had patience then. Uh, Linda says, yes, Matt, RAM is important for speed. They had to update a work computer one time as it was running too slow. Man. Matt says, yes, that's just the easiest way to get everything in one shot. But if you're trying to budget, you can get more targeted to your purpose machine. I agree with that. That is probably the cheapest way to go would be to build. But I don't want a desktop. I got enough stuff in here that, I'm trying to, everything that's in here has to be configured for my camper when I get that. And I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be going with a gutted out cargo camper. And I'm looking at like an 8 by 20. I'm hoping that I can get three clear, distinct sections, kitchen, bathroom, and unfortunately, they're going to have to be, like they're going to have to divide this whatever, 6 feet. This 6 inches, 6 feet. It's gonna be 6 feet. These 6 feet, they're gonna have to divide these 6 feet in half. 3 feet to the kitchen and 3 feet to the bathroom or something like that. Then I'm gonna have obviously, I don't know if I want to have a dedicated bedroom or not, or if I'm gonna be okay with converting. And then this area right here is going to have to fit into like 6 inch, 6 by 8 is what I'm going to be looking at. 6 by 8, 6 by 8, 6 by 8 with a little room in between. But that's where I'm going. Happy Jack. That's a little too small for me, sure. I know what Happy Jack is. Oh, you talking about the jack that goes down for the bed? I've seen those. I like those also. Some laptops have an easy access RAM expansion, but some, like my Surface, would be much more easy to take apart. Look, at this point, I'm looking at Raspberry Pi, Orange Pi. Um, if y'all don't know what those are the little motherboards that you can use to learn how to do your own programming, except in a laptop form case. I'm thinking about all of this stuff. Now, it would be pretty cheap. I probably could get away with doing this for $400 or $500 if I went the Raspberry Pi route. And when we say Pi, guys, we're like Raspberry Pi. Yes, I can build on Raspberry Pi. There you go. So you have a guy. Okay. So thinking about Raspberry Pi or Orange Pi also. So I know that they are a little bit more I think Raspberry Pi is the easiest, and I think they start with middle schoolers. I think on Raspberry Pi, teaching them how to program, teaching them how to, do custom setups on laptop cases instead of on desktop cases. So I'm even looking into that, but we all know how I am. I'm probably gonna just take $1,000 or $1,500. I don't want to do it, but I really feel like I'm gonna take $1,000 or $1,500, and I need some room for those shoulders. That's the bestie right there. As long as this shoulder a fit. This shoulder is starting to sputter, guys. I'm gonna be honest. Where's Crystal at? When we were in Michigan, I'm used to like, I'll shake my shoulder and I gain a little bit of favor or something when we go somewhere. And it works, right? We were somewhere. I think I was with Mary and Bud, and somebody came up and said something, and I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, they wouldn't move our room or something like that. And I'm like, what do you mean? What's wrong? I stuck my shoulder. Something must be wrong with it. It's sputtering. I was walking around smacking my shoulder until I finally got it to work. um we're trying to, I'm like, let me go get you a room. Let me go, because they had a horrible room. Their door wouldn't close. Lizzie and them had a horrible room. And so I'm like, let me go get this shoulder working so I can get you guys some better rooms. um, the shoulder worked for me. So, I'm saying. uh, we didn't want to have to move rooms, and we were told we were going to have to move around. I'm like, now let me get this shoulder working. I don't want to have to move. We ended up having our middle of the night room moved, and I'm like, I don't want to have to do that again. So we definitely, we got to get this shoulder up and running. Let's see what I got to take, how many times I got to hit it. Um, and I went downstairs. Hi, Zach. We didn't have to move rooms. Yeah. I'm like, Zach, hi, how you doing? He was like, hi. And I'm like, they're saying that we're gonna have to move rooms. I don't want to have to move rooms. Like, is there something? And I'm trying my hardest. And the good news is, good night, Jen. Thanks for coming. Get some sleep. The good news is, yes, we didn't have to. Oh, Julie, it was definitely, I was scared. Mary will tell you, I was like, oh, something is wrong. My shoulder's not working. Uh, she's working on a custom setup. I'm thinking about it. Pi, we're big for retro gaming a few years ago. I was tempted to play but never got into it. Um yeah, Matt, it's out there. It's big, but I'm not sure if it's more of an educational tool as opposed to like a lot of people using it to kind of, get hardcore into gaming and things like that. I think, like I said, middle school, high school students, if you are into, like, my daughter was into robotics and stuff like that, and so I remember robotics was something that, they didn't have scholarships for. You had to really invest into students who were trying to get interested in that, and so supporting students who were in robotics. We heard a lot about, Pi and, gaming and, development and things like that. And so that's what these tools really were designed to do, to learn, programming, and to learn, computer building and things. And so got a lot of my information and things like that from that route. And Pi would be probably the easier route for me to get, like, gaming console strength, or, laptop, gaming laptop capability, going to Pi route. And then, like Cheryl said, she knows the guy. Costco got a deal. Anything happens, bring it back anytime. That's a good one. Rochelle said, I've been researching campers. There are some nice ones you could tow with your vehicle, 2026 versions. Yep, 9,200 towing capacity. That mean I probably could get out there and do some things. You was trying to sweet talk the bathroom ghost. I was trying to sweet talk whoever could have kept me in my room. I didn't want to have to change again. I called and set that up the week before, though. See, Mary did tell us that she had called in and had set it up to where she was coming in early, and she was going to be a part of Mingle and the Mitten. And so the room that they put her in the first night, could she just stay in going into the next night? So when we heard that we may have to switch rooms, yeah, I'm like, oh no, no, I'm pretty sure I'm about to go get this shoulder working. Already said, bang it into the door frame. I remember that. I was doing everything. I was like, something wrong with my shoulder. Let me get this shoulder working first, because clearly, clearly they talking about moving my room again. No, this is not happening. Um, but I had to, yeah, I did have to go and shake my shoulder and smile. Um, You can get Raspberry Pi on Amazon. I saw that. Somebody said that they saw Raspberry Pi on. Do they have Orange Pie on there too? I know, that's a little more intricate and things, but I'm thinking of, and I think Blueberry is one also. I think it's for the serious enthusiast. Um, but in a different kind of way, like much more tinkery. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking also. I don't know. I think, like Lizzie said, stop being cheap. I'm trying to cheap my way out. The first thing that I'm probably going to do is buy this $200 laptop shell, and then see. And if it doesn't work, I think I'm going to, like she said, send it back and then go ahead and spend the $1,500. They have the basics. Okay, so they have the basics. But yeah, so that's the thought. You guys know what's in my cart: Raspberry Pi, and this $200 laptop shell. And you know the why. Trying to keep the fun going and things like that. Cheryl Cat says, Rochelle, are you getting a camper as well? We are getting campers for the next phase. I know that's me working, worrying about the next phase. There is going to be, again, that's going to be an 18 by 20. I mean, 18, an 8 by 20 um, double axle, which means it's going to have some weight to it. And I got to make sure that I keep the weight down because, again, I'm only working with 9,200 on my vehicle tow capacity. The goal is once I'm up and running, to come and see all of you, visit with you guys, make sure that, I'm able to see you guys. Probably going to be traveling roughly, I want to say like April to maybe October. And then I already know where I'm going to be staying, either Quartzsite or Laughlin, Nevada. Quartzsite is in Arizona. Laughlin, Nevada is about 45 minutes from here, Las Vegas. And I'll be, there the rest of the year. So that's my goal. That goal has been in play, I want to say since 2010 or something like that. My daughter told me she was moving to Delaware or something when 2010 she was like, oh, 8, 9 years old. And I remember saying, I'm coming with you. And she said, how you gonna do that? And I was like, I'm gonna buy an RV and I'm gonna hook her up to whatever vehicle I got. When you leave town, I'm leaving town. So go ahead, try me. That might be why she's never left town, because why bother, right? People stay in Arizona for the winter. They do that here too. They call them snowbirds. So they arrive sometime in October when it starts to get really cool where they live. And I live in Vegas, the Mojave Desert. And they're here usually until maybe April before they start heading back home and things like that. I am so excited. I know you are. You almost done. Quartz. Yeah, Quartzsite, Arizona, that place right there, that's like where everybody goes and stays. My next phase, single room, one door, no windows. Matt, you're so funny. um, mine will be sort of like that. I don't know if I'm gonna have an open or if I'm gonna have a door separating my spaces, but I definitely know that, my two chairs that I just purchased, those are very comfortable. And obviously, if I and the shoulders can fit in them, anybody I know can fit in them. They could come in things. Magnetic locks. I like that. So that's two additional sleeping, areas and things like that. And then I have to decide if I'm going to have a convertible bed or if I'm going to have one that's, always. We'll think about it. That's something that's in the work. Like Cheryl's been paring down and she's at a point where, she knows what she's taking on her journey and what she's not taking with her into her next phase and stuff. I'm not that far along yet, but I know, once I get the unit, that's in the next year or so. When I get the unit and things like that, then it'll be a little bit easier for me to decide. But I'm taking all of that and I'm making sure that you guys are working because I'm coming to see you guys. If you live in Texas, make sure you just have somewhere for me to park. I'm gonna come and I'm gonna hang out with you. If you live in Pennsylvania, I don't want to go even to Maine. I don't know anybody in Maine, but I'm pretty sure I can meet some people in Maine. Okay, Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, we coming for you guys. Coming on down, Massachusetts. I know a lot of people in Massachusetts. Connecticut, I grew up in Connecticut, so I have a lot of family in Connecticut, even Rhode Island. If you live in Rhode Island and you watch me and you want me to come and see you, let me know. I'm gonna put you on a travel list and I'm gonna come see you. New York, New Jersey, got family in there. Pennsylvania, I'm coming to see you, Matt. Coming to see you, Rochelle. Coming to see you, Mud Nuts. Don't worry. I'm gonna come all the way across. We're gonna hit up Michigan. I'm probably gonna be in Michigan for at least a month or so. Come on down into Ohio, probably be there for a month or so. But then, the goal is to kind of spread out. I've never been to Montana. I don't know anybody in Montana either. Do you guys know anybody in Montana? I know that's big sky country, a lot of wind. I'm scared to go to Montana because I know they can hit your device broadside, your camper broadside, kind of knock it over. That's the reason why I'm scared. So that has me wondering also, should I do a pop up? Not the traditional sense where you got the cloth. I'm talking like trail manor type pop up. We'll see. We'll see. Because I wouldn't be able to take as much stuff with me. But once I'm there and I'm set up, it would probably be comfortable. Rochelle says, I was in one that looks like a hotel room. I was surprised. Let's go, Tia. That's a lot of driving. It is a lot of driving. It is a lot of driving. Hmm. I may be stuck in Florida, you know. I may be stuck in Florida for a season or so. Baja for winter. So I've been to Baja, and I got a friend that she owns a house down there. And I don't know. I followed this one channel, Tony and Tinja, Tanaj and Tony. I knew I was gonna get it. It was gonna come out. Her name is Tanaj. Her husband's name is Tony. They go to Baja for the winter and they take like a group of van lifers with them and things like that. And what they're doing, I guess it's a whale hunt or something. You can follow the whale. I didn't even know we had whales that came down this far, but they're following the whale, hunt down through Baja. I think it's crazy. It's really crazy. But they showed in some of their videos, 'cause they were on YouTube, they showed the whale bones. Like this whale just, washed up on the shore and just gave up. So there would be, plenty to see if you did do the Baja for the winter. I didn't think you liked driving that long a distance. Not all at once. So I'm going to go to Maine. It's probably going to take 7 days. I'm going to do 6 hours here. If you guys know Marion, Marion is full-time RV. And we talk a lot because she's been, since I met her in 2020, she's been living in her RV. She does it full time. She was doing it um like half a year, and then she had a home base. She does not have the home base anymore, so she's full time now. She'll go visit her kids, and they live in, I think, 3 different states and things like that, and they'll stay, when they need a home base, but they live in their RV full time. And she goes to pretty much all of the retreats. So she goes to Mingle in the Mitten. She goes to the Great Lakes. She goes to Lone Star. She's going to what is it, Crafter's Paradise. She goes to Red Boots. She goes to all of the retreats. But that's what she does. She full times, and she has a limit between 4 and 6 hours. She won't sit longer than 2.5 hours, and then they have to stop somewhere. And she made a great point to say, um, you want to get up, you want to move around, you want to improve circulation and things like that. She crafts, obviously she diamond paints. Um, there was a couple other crafts that she, got into and stuff like that. But diamond painting is her thing. Oh, and She Legos also. So diamond painting is her thing. And one of the things that she was saying is, that's some of the stuff that they do. She goes, she'll drive for a couple hours, she'll get up, kind of pull through. Marion, um, I got to think of her last name. It's gonna come to me, but it'll probably come to me in the middle of the night. So if you get a middle of the night text, boom, 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 But yep, she's been on the road in her RV. I want to definitely. I know when I met her in 2020, she was already on the road. She had a home base at that point. Rochelle says, I was in, oh, I saw that. There's a diamond painting channel from a cabin up there. They are building a house in the middle of nowhere, Montana. It's nice. I got you in Florida. That's the nice thing about a camper or RV. Only have to drive as far as you feel like or not. That's right. Lake Craft. Marion Lake Crafts. I think that's her name. Marion G. Lake Crafts. I believe that is her. Rochelle, I do believe that's her. She won, remember she won the modeling high step Texas hat decorating contest. She did a beautiful job. So everybody decorated these hats for Texas. They were cowgirl hats, and then they got to model them. She turned it out. She turned it out. I talk to her all the time. She's waiting on my van to be. I think we all waiting on your van to be built because we want to see what it looks like, and we want to see what you get out there, what those adventures look like. I think that it is great to be able to go from one crafting retreat to another and share that life, that adventure with yourself, getting to meet people from all over that are like-minded, and she have all her crafts with her. So I think that would be amazing. Clearly, that's what I'm looking to do. And I'm getting closer. That's the goal, is getting closer. So with that said, we have covered what's the weather like in your neck of the woods, what you working on, what you watching. Yes, Cheryl, we are Lone Star Retreat neighbors. Look at that. Look at that. I'm not sure the retreats will let us stay in our. It all depends. Because I think that that should be something to maybe visit or revisit, when it comes to where they're being hosted and housed at. Are there better opportunities for those who, can come up with their own lodging? Are there going to be better opportunities to get more people in to a venue, than, trying to have like something all inclusive? I think it's something to think about. When I get my camper, that's just a part of how I get to the venue. If I have to stay in the hotel, I would. But if I could save a couple bucks and stay in my unit, and just come in to the actual retreat venue, then that is going to be, triple score for me. There are nearby RV parks. Yes. Not sure the retreats will let us stay in our. So it depends because, at the Ohio retreat, they have a campground already. So because they have a campground already, she stays in the campground. Actually, her hubby, he stays in the campground. She usually still comes in and indulges in all of the events and things. I won't need any hooks cuz I am 100% self-reliant. So that's the other thing that I got to look into. Making sure that, I am self-contained. I think that's going to be critical. you know um I think going, I would do that. You know how they have this tiny house movement and things. If there was a way to be self-contained, like to detach from the grid completely, to get solar panels on the home, and to be able to have a rain collection system. A lot of states are outlawing that. I looked into that going into Colorado. I have a friend that lives in Colorado. She got married and moved to Cheyenne, Wyoming. And I looked into it for both states to see, is there a way, I could put up a little tiny homestead or something like that, and detach from the grid, becomes completely self-contained. The water collection system is what what kind of prevents that. How else do you obtain water and things like that? And that's really, a lot of people, if you have a big enough water collection system, you're self-contained, because we can get solar power, you can do composting. I have two tiny houses going on my land. Look at that. See, tent or pop-up. um these were going to actually be, I have the solution. What's the solution? Yes, I am 100% off grid. Matt says just a camper retreat would be awesome. I can think of some here: RV, rent cabins, rent tent, popular lot, rent lodge rooms, and just have a central craft room in the lodge. So I do mostly tent camping, but I would do a pop up, solution as well to get up off the ground. I think that would be awesome. But I'm there for a camper retreat. That would be, Matt, what you gonna do? You gonna put it together for us? Put it together. I show up. I got my gear. All my gear coming. I've been thinking about getting a new tent so I can get off the ground. A lot of people are getting these SUV tents, and they come right off the back of your SUV. That would definitely get me up off the ground, because then we got options. I can turn butterfly into the bedroom. Atmospheric water collection system. Now I'm gonna have to look into this atmospheric water collection system. Is it something that local ordinance or your municipality have to approve? It's an adjustment. I bet. Matt says exactly. Everyone kind of has their choice of how they want to stay outside of the central lodge craft room. I think it would be great, because you could do at night. What would be fun is you could do powwows and things like that at night. You can do under the stars, you can do karaoke, you can do line dancing, you can do, it opens up so much more that we wouldn't be able to do if we were confined in like a hotel or something like that. So if you are any type of an artist, you sing, you play an instrument, things like that, we're outdoors. We can kind of, now you have to be able to actually sing for us to appreciate this though. But it does open up the possibility of, artists and things like that coming together. If you are an artist, how many artists have the paint the rock? I'm not an outside girly. Rochelle definitely is not. She's going to be in the pop up. She's going to be in the pop up that's been decorated, that has the heat. Um, she definitely won't be tent camping. Her pop up's going to be glammed up. Cracking up over here. Remember Mad Art? I do. I remember Mad Art. I'm thinking, like, this would be, my husband is cracking up. Because he can picture you in the pop-up that's been decorated. It's got everything. It's got the fridge. It's time to go cook around the campfire. I can hear Rochelle now. What? Ah, no, I'll be back. Rochelle had that little earpiece, her little Bluetooth. She'll have her phone. Her phone is gonna be guiding her to the nearest Starbucks. He said, "That's one project I know you're staying away." Exactly. She lives in her van and she paints and does shows and sells to Diamond Art Club. So it's a lot of like southwestern artists that kind of stay here in the Pacific Southwest. That's where I live. and it's a dry climate. Obviously we have great weather often throughout the year and things like that. And so artistry is a little bit easier, except for me. I'm a polymer clay artist, and the hotter the weather gets, the less I'm able to. I'm gonna get some fridges and I'm gonna see what I can do this year, but I think I'll have to put them in stages and steps. And then like step one, once I'm done with that, that goes into the fridge. And then, take whatever step ones are already in there to move on to step two and things like that. I tried it one year, I want to say 2021, 2022, when I first started getting into clay. And I remember I was having to put them in the fridge and stuff, but I had them little cheap $25 fridge, the kind you get from Walmart. Um, they last for 37 days. I had those. So once the 37 days came, like, it's not working anymore. How many times have I opened this fridge? Or maybe I'm opening it too much. So you leave it for 2, 3 days and then you go and open it and it still wasn't working. I'm like, are you okay with the bugs and other things outside? Yep, bugs, snakes. You come across my dish, you might get eaten. Get a quality ACT. I have one of them battery operated things. You put water in the bottom, and so when you turn it on, it's blowing air and things, and then it's a little button on the side that you can spritz a mist, and so then instantly cold and things like that. um Rochelle in the honeymoon suite, just chilling with her martini glass and hot tub. Rochelle knows the Pocono theme outdoorsy for some luxury. I seen the Poconos thing where y'all in them big wine glasses that come up. It's bubbles on top but bud on the bottom. Won't suffice in a metal box. Shawana is like, I think she was trying to, let me know, but yes, because I tent camp, what I'm not okay with, because I tent camp, I'm not okay with being in bear country. So that's another reason why my journey has got to get into a camper and things like that. You guys heard my story from when I was in Lake Tahoe, up in it's outside of Reno, and it crosses into California, near Truckee and things. So I take my daughter. It's supposed to be a mommy daughter, camping trip and things. We having a good time. We out hiking. We're out hiking. Keep in mind, that's what you do when you camp in the woods. You go for long walks. That's all hiking is. Anyway, we come across bear tracks. We see a sign, and I think off in the distance, because I didn't go and inspect. Usually, if you look like me, you don't care to inspect. You care to get out of there. So I I look, and in my peripheral, I see a brown bear, and I'm backing up because I want to see where my baby is. She's of course not paying attention. I'm like, we got to get the hell up out of here. It's a bear over there. And if you see a little bear in the area, there's going to be a big bear soon enough and stuff. So we're trying to hightail it back. And that was probably one of the last times that I definitely have not been in bear country trying to camp. I think we stayed at Motel 6 for the next few days until we got on our plane. We did fly in to have this adventure. Till we got on our plane and got back to Vegas. It was a 7-hour drive, so obviously we was flying in. Um, uh, so have you ever seen those Pocono glasses? If you have never seen a Pocono glass, look up you got to look it up. They used to have a commercial where people, the couples, would have bubbles all in, and they would be showing like a honeymoon suite. They didn't show people in the glass though, and the reason is because it's a wine glass on the bottom, but the bowl that is a glass. It's like it's see through and things like that. And so they couldn't put people in there unless they had on a swimsuit or something, because again, it's bubbles on the top and bud on the bottom. I lived in the Pocono Mountains. You remember the commercial then, Don? I mean, I think I seen that in every. I was when I was getting married. Was it the first time or the second time? I think it was the first time when I was getting married. We seen them. They actually have them on the billboards. Okay, so that's the area that Matt's picturing Rochelle going to the honeymoon suite when we all are out crafting in the crafting retreat, the camping retreat. Rochelle's gonna be in the honeymoon suite in the wine glass, Mount Airy Lodge. That's it right there, Don. That's the one I'm talking about. Mount Airy Lodge. I just go to all I'm sorry, it's moving. I just go all the time, way, way back. Don, where? Oh, have a place in Lake. Let me put that up. Lake Ariel. She talking about Mount Airy Lodge. That was it. Don, was it Paradise Resorts? It was Mount Airy Lodge, the one that I was referring to. I remember that was on the. I don't know if it was the sandals or what, but I remember I'm about to age myself because this was like early 90s, 92, 3-ish, somewhere around there. And it was on all of the honeymoon. Oh, let's get married, all of that. Go here for your honeymoon. And it used to be that wine glass on all of their ads. My house is in the Hideout. Well, look at y'all. You got a house there. Most of the resorts are gone. Mount Airy Lodge is gambling now. What? What? I'm cracking up. Rochelle says she's cracking up. She must have seen the wine glass ad that I'm talking about also. Paradise Dream. So see, we gonna have fun. We gonna create. Matt gonna get us hooked up. He gonna find somewhere to host an outdoor crafting retreat. Matt, I'm gonna need you to make it near a resort or some sort. That way, Rochelle and some of her cronies they got somewhere. Cause it sounded like when Shawana asked about the bugs, like she wasn't gonna be outside either. So I'm just saying. Um, what happens is you get a tent. They will crawl on your tent. You just gotta make sure everything is closed up. And inside the tent, you gotta make it comfortable. You gotta put like the carpet down, you gotta put the tarp down on the bottom. Obviously, I have a routine and things like that. So Shawana's laughing. Shawana did not say, no, I'll stay outside. She just chuckled. That means something. Thermacell. Cheryl is going all the way back tonight. Do y'all remember the Thermacell curlers? Put the little cartridge in, curl your hair while you gone. Um, those things work great in a camping environment. Everything should be thermocelled. Not only your curling irons and things like that, anything you like, if we could have a thermocell microwave, you on to something. There you go. Thermocell heating sources. Although, I am not against propane, and butane. I use all of that. My memory is trying to reach Lake Ariel. That's way up from the resorts. No, the bug repellent. There's bug repellent called Thermacell. I think I'm still on the regular. It's not ringing a bell. Thermacell bug repellent. Rochelle closer than me to the Poconos. Nemacolin Woodland is close to me. Nemacolin. I never heard of it. And that same vibe, luxury in the mountains. Sound like Matt? About to put something together. When's a good time of the year for y'all? Obviously it's still cold there right now. Cheryl, I have several of them. Thermacell bug repellents. Linda, you have those? In Canada, it's not too cold for Thermacell. You know, in Canada. Hmm. 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 Okay. Okay. Okay, Dan. Well, heard of Nema Collin. You have? Because of, oh y'all, that's mosquitoes. That's the that must be the bugs that Shawana was talking about. I'm gonna be honest, Shawana. Um, we don't get them often here. I know we have them because we have vegetation. You have to go up near Mount Charleston, which is about an hour from here, to experience, bugs and vegetation and things like that. I live in the valley, the actual desert where you get sandstorms and things. That's where I live, down in the actual desert. Very difficult and very hard to have sustained vegetation and things like that here. Obviously, we can grow um, cacti because it don't take much water and stuff like that, but we don't see a lot of mosquitoes. Might see flies and things like that, but we don't see a lot of mosquitoes and flying bugs and things. I don't stay long at the park with my granddaughter playing, so I pass. And the older I get, I can't drive along. Oh, can't drive long periods of time. Rochelle says, I haven't been back to the Poconos. My last visit was 1999, a trip for my husband. Then I took him on a trip. We never went back to the Poconos. Well, it's time for y'all to plan something. It sounds like we gonna have a crafters outdoor camping retreat. Emphasis on the word outdoor. That way people know what they're getting themselves into. Can't nobody get in there shoulder sputtering like, well, I can't get no help out here with this tent. Didn't you know you was coming to a outdoor crafters retreat? You need a pop-up. You need a tent that you just throw and it and then it's up. So a lot of crime in the Poconos. Maybe we're not going to the Poconos then, Don. Thank you for pointing that out. We appreciate. Make sure you get that message over to our promoters. That's going to be Rochelle and Matt. I'm not an outside girly. Rochelle's going to make sure Matt finds a campground that's right next door to a resort so that when we meet at the venue, everybody, everybody has choices. Gangs. Oh, Lord. What happened to the Poconos? What happened? They just got a nice name now. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. So I hope that you guys have had an amazing time tonight. You got a lot of work done. Um, what's up next for me? Again, next week, you guys will get your sneak peek of the actual Capture by Radiance pen that I created for the event, their Winter King story. I am a sponsor, so you will be able to win two or one of two pins. And then there is a code that you will be using if you're not interested in a pen, and you could use it to get a discount and save on a Pal purchase. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that because you're going to start to see a lot of their affiliates creating videos and things like that. They're going to really make it a fun event. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. But more importantly, when an event comes, you guys know there's some good discounts to be had when it comes to shopping and getting some of the things you want. And Eden Cove and that Seventh Bride of Chucky, that's got my name on it. I know that's not what it's called, but I can't really think of it's a Seventh Bride of something. Bride seventh in line, going to the store to get something. So those two are definitely in my cart. uh, and then after next Wednesday, you guys will join us back here with my co-host Lizzie. We do our morning laughs every other Saturday. We get together and we just give you guys zany content while you guys are diamond painting. Now, Lizzie normally does diamond paint as well. And you guys see my hands are always moving and things like that. And the reason is because I got clay in my hands. I'm always, working with some new colors and things and trying. So I'm doing work. It just may not be diamond painting, God's work. My eyes puffed up. Rochelle said my eyes popped up. I couldn't see. It was hilarious. um, Love the lake house. Lake house is great. Matt is posting up pom pow pins. Thank you so very much. We're gonna have a ball. Obviously, Winter King story. That's gonna be June, so that's coming up. And then we're gonna have a little break in July. No worries, no worries, because we're gonna still be here. And we're going to be getting you guys ready for our August 1st hashtag blast from the past. Going to be our second time that we try and get you guys to dive deep into the history of your diamond paintings and come up with something old and see what we can do about at least going back and remembering. But before we go, I wanted to show you guys. Obviously, I got a new bracelet for Mother's Day. This is from Pandora. Pandora. Well, babies. It says, I'm trying to, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. It's a charm. It's a charm. Can you see the charms? I love it. And then also, now this is something that I was looking for. Definitely was looking for these. I couldn't find them anywhere. So if you guys see these, get a link over to me and let me know. But I wanted the entire set. They had these Disney launches earlier this year where you can get the whole set, all the Disney princesses. Um, and also they had like a standard one, like for all of them and things like that. So I tried to, well, my daughter, she tried to get me as much as possible, many. I wanted to know the fragrances. Like, I wanted to know not only what Belle smell like, what does Jasmine smell like, what does Tiana smell like, what does Snow smell like. So that was why I wanted the whole set and things like that. Obviously, they started selling out from the start. My daughter, she took her students to Disney, and there just wasn't a lot of stuff that she was able to kind of pull together collectively. She went to, there was a Crocs section in one of the Disney stores. She didn't like the Crocs that she saw in there. And I kind of thank her for that because I got my 20th, y'all, 20th pair of Crocs along with gibbets. They had a sale going on. Rochelle, they had a sale going on. I'm gonna tell you, it was a beautiful sale, but I still think our store in San Antonio, our Croc store in San Antonio, is bomb.com. And they have more gibbets in that store than they did in this Vegas outlet store. So I did get my 20th pair. They had this sale, awesome, 13 gibbets. Buy 13, get 13 free. I know that means it's 50% off, but you very rarely see, that sale so amazing like that. And I also got a crock cleaning kit. So that for me made 20. I do have now 20 pair of croc shoes and 5 croc bags. Now I wanted to get a matching croc bag, but they are limited. So if you guys shop Crocs and you're looking for a deal to put in your cart, I think it's best if you go online, kind of sign up for their newsletter, get their notifications and things like that, because I do feel like there were better deals on the site than going in person and things like that. So we going shopping tonight here. I know we are, Momo. Momo is my enabler, y'all. She got me shopping China like it's across the street. I told her that I do still shop AliExpress and everything. If I don't see it on, or if I see something I like on there, I will check Amazon and see if it's there first. If it is, then I'll probably order it from Amazon. However, I'm so scared. I told her, I said, no, Temu has a lot of this stuff. I'm just scared. I haven't kind of bought all the way in. I might have. I might have, but I was on the phone with Lizzie one day. And Clem, y'all know Sea Dog shop Temu. And he bought a diamond painting. So I'm on the phone, we sitting there, and I hear him, he don't sound happy. Like, Lizzie. And she's like, what? And he was like, I got this stuff from Temu. So she's like, okay, we'll bring it in. He takes a while. So that means he's opening it, right? He come in. He don't have like the bag. He has the item. And y'all, I know y'all remember how I got, right? Y'all remember how I got with the the advent box that I got, the diamond painting advent box that I got. I was supposed to have it, November, didn't come in December. It came in like towards the end of January. And I paid all that money, like $59.99 plus taxes, shipping and handling, and it's on Temu for $12.99. It wasn't even worth $12.99 on Temu. So you remember the size of the diamond painting, right? It's like 5 by 5, and I got 5 of them, and then the diamonds were ridiculous. He he brings in a painting about the same size, and Chuck then was like, "Look, this is what came in. This the diamond painting." He was so upset. So I say this because this is like, y'all remember Wish, right? I told Mama, I do remember Wish. I remember wishing I didn't buy stuff. Like, why did I buy it? I wish I hadn't got this. I wish I had more presence of my, and so I didn't want to repeat that experience by, developing a Temu addiction and stuff. I used to order stuff from Wish, and you want to place an order so it all come in around the same time. So you're going to place about 70, $80. You're going to get good stuff that, make it worthwhile. One order, everything come in, one shipping and handling. But then when you get the stuff, oh Lord, oh goodness gracious. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. Anybody shop Temu? What's your experience? Matt says Temu advent calendars are the best money I've ever spent. I got so much entertainment from that. I could watch that unboxing. A lot of people tell me that 1,000 times and still be entertained. I'm gonna be honest. To see my expression, the first, I was like, I'm not opening nothing else. Y'all gonna experience this with me. I'll never forget that. I opened one box. I couldn't wait. I'm thinking, oh, right here. This is a long one. I'm gonna try this one. This one gotta be, I was expecting at least one decent sized diamond paint. I wasn't okay with each box having like one one bag of drills. What do you mean? That means it's 24 days in the advent calendar. What are you trying to say? There's only 22 color? Oh, this is ridiculous. That's how I felt about that. uh, so so with that said, obviously, that's my goal, is to not get addicted to Temu and shop too much, at Temu like I did for Wish. Um Yeah. You might see a trinket or two there. I'm always trying to enhance what I can send you guys. I do send out a lot of freebies when I send packages out, because I appreciate the support and things like that. But I try to keep it. I won't send you guys like really crappy stuff. I'll try and have a point or a purpose to it. With that said, I'm gonna thank you guys for coming out, hanging out. I feel like, my hubby likes Tamo. Does he? Um, I don't have nobody that like it that like that. I'm wondering about Prince, but my son used to do AliExpress all the time. Like how we all evolved in our diamond painting journey. And our journey went from like Wish. For me, it went from Wish to Alibaba to AliExpress. It might have gone to Amazon. And then we come into the knowledge of Diamond Art Club, right? We come into the knowledge of Diamond Art Club, and then we start getting premium canvases, Craftably, Treasure Studio Arts, Captured by Radiance, and then obviously it's a wealth of additional diamond. I still think HFGK, GBCD, F, power to carry the one. I still feel like that company had some quality canvas. It was decent canvases, and that they were offering poured glue and things like that. But my son kind of moved over into like AliExpress, Alibaba, and I don't even know if he moved back over to Amazon. He kind of stayed over there. Now he will go shop my stash. He'll get a little tote bag, and I'll see him heading into my room. He go into my closet or something, and he's gonna shop for diamond paintings. Um, but when it comes to like looking for what he's gonna spend his money on, he still shops AliExpress. Isn't that crazy? He still shops AliExpress. But that's how I know that they started moving on to pour glue and things like that. Now, his girlfriend that he's been dating for a little while now, she is into crafting. She's into jewelry making and stuff like that. And they started to try to have a diamond painting night. I don't know how I feel about that, y'all, because y'all know that was my realm. But I'm trying not to say too much. I was feeling hurt by it though. Like, Mom, guess what? She want to diamond paint with me. I guess that was a big thing. She want to diamond paint with me. We gonna try one night, and we gonna maybe make it, once a month at first. And I'm like, and you know, what do you do? So I don't know how I feel about that, y'all. What do you think? Stitch markers. Never shop that. Someone just told me to get shipping materials there. AliExpress. It depends on where you go, but I'm telling you right now, Ever Moment, love Ever Moment. Yeah, there's decent stuff there. Just have to figure out which to trust and pay attention to art if that kind of stuff matters to you. I agree. I agree. I think even like clothing and things like that. I got to the point where obviously you can't order too much stuff from China because they built different than us. They don't have these fluffy shoulders like we do here. I mean, they don't have no fluff in their stuff. So, you got to look at stuff. I agree. You look at stuff, you gotta keep you a tape measure. You gotta know, is this US size, this UK size, European size. You gotta know the distinction between those. And then you gotta know the difference between metric system. You gotta be mathematical geniuses. That's what they was trying to teach us in elementary. Remember when people used to be like, "Why? I'm never gonna need this again. I'm not gonna need this in life." Yes, you are, because there's gonna be a time when you need to shop AliExpress, Alibaba. You're gonna need to know the difference. You got your best friend Canadian, and they talking in Celsius, and you talking in Fahrenheit. You gotta know, and you gotta be able, to, make the connection quick and stuff. Lizzie say stuff. It's gonna be 21 today, and I'm like, 21. What that? Whoa, that's pretty decent. So you gotta be quick. Um, heck, no shoulders even. Yeah, they don't have any, huh? I heard about diamond art first. Really, Peggy? Somebody else. Man Bun. Man Bun had me in his life. You guys know me and Man Bun. We started off working together. We were both adjusters. At one point, he was on the other side of the building than me. And what we could do is we could do what we wanted really back then. Um, we could go, they had a classroom inside our building where you can kind of sign up to do different things. You could sign up, somebody want to teach an art class and stuff like that. You can go to their art class, even though we all on the clock and we supposed to be working, but they, counted this as part of like mental health and things like that. So I post on a board that I'm going to, have a artist showing or something like that. You can sign up and you can just go to my artist showing, and I'm showcasing things like that. What I showcased were my diamond paintings that I had completed. And at that point, my favorite artist, well, I had a couple. I'm trying to remember. I had like 4 or 5 completions. Back then, I completed them. They were huge, though. Huge. But Chuck Pinson, Chuck Pinson, he just has a special place in my heart and things like that. And I think I had three Chucks and then two or three other artists. I had like two Mandy Manzanos, things like that. Anyway, I had my artwork, kind of on display and things like that. And, where I sat at, in case people wanted to ask me questions and things like that. And so Man Bun was extremely interested in things like that. And that's literally how we met. He ended up moving his desk all the way on my side of the building, because his supervisor went to go work some wildfires and things like that. And so he didn't have anybody, and he came to sit, and we used to sit at our desk and diamond paint together. You imagine getting paid to diamond paint. Diamond Dots at the craft store was my first. I still love their kits, great materials, and I'd argue maybe the best renderings out there. Just avoid squares. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Diamond Dots. Diamond Dots was my first foray outside of like Temu. I mean, not Temu, outside of Wish, Alibaba, AliExpress. I hadn't tried anything. I hadn't gone to Michael's or anything like that. I mean, I hadn't done anything. So I'm waiting. I had an order of like 116 canvases that were going to be coming in. This is the worst idea ever. They were going to be coming in from AliExpress. I had a whole bunch of them. Back then you can get you don't know about renderings, you don't know about sizes, you round versus square, pixelation, color saturation. You don't know about a lot of those things. You just see a cute picture that they show, and that, oh, this is going to be a diamond painting. Okay. So while I'm waiting on the order to come in, it was taking forever. I'm like, I think I was at Michael's. Then I happened upon, might have been even been at Joann's. I can't remember, but I ended up seeing a diamond painting. It was by Diamond Dots, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know you could get them in person. Oh my God. I bought my first in person, and it came out amazing. Amazing. It was cafe at night. So it was well known and things like that. And it came out amazing. Now, I wasn't happy about the confetti at the bottom because I couldn't see anything. I'm like, this is ridiculous. It's just a bunch of, colors. They just throwing it on here. But when I stood back, and I think I was looking at it through a viewfinder, and I was able to see how the shading and everything was coming together, making it look like a cobblestone. Oh, so beautiful. They were the first to come marketed to US that I know of. Wizardy is still around too, but no experience. And they didn't like diamond dots. They didn't stick like diamond dots. I never ever, I didn't know Wizardy was still around, but um I know they were expensive. That was what I remember. They were expensive. So, but yeah, diamond dots. You know who at the very first retreat, um that art dot. The very first retreat that we went to, we did musical diamond painting. Okay, that's where a bunch of people decided that they would participate. We're going to get up and we're going to move to the station next to us, and we're going to work on their diamond painting for a set period of time. It was like 10 minutes. And we're going to experience, most people had, varying companies. So we're going to experience painting on this canvas, what this canvas feels like. Everyone, we hoped, had different pens, used different wax or putty, and then different trays. And it was so fun. We had the different, I remember Crashly worked the music at that point, and what we got to do was experience a variety of canvases. And we were testing the diamond quality. We were testing the canvas, the stickiness, the feel of tarpaulin. You would think that everybody had Diamond Art Club, and they didn't. It was such a variety. But I'll never forget, 3 or 4 people had art dot canvases. And at the end, they kind of went around the room and they got feedback and everything from people. And Art Dot was one of the top companies. Everybody was shocked by how great their diamonds were. Vibrant. Their diamonds were, you could see the sparkle on them, the facets. A lot of people, that was like our big surprise of that retreat, was how well Art Dot canvases, came up. Back then you could get the box and they would have like four in a box. Oh, that was an amazing moment. And I thought everybody was going to definitely, you know, name the hitters, and things like that, but they didn't. It was more people saying that Art Dot was their surprise, it was their number one. The tray, I think at that time, was Archer's, by Archer's Art. Everybody was really enjoying the Archer's Art tray. Yeah, that's taking me back. That's taking me back. I won a diamond art from a raffle that I won. I think it's an old one. Well, Peggy, since it's an old one, August 1st, hashtag blast from the past. Get it ready to come and join us. Squares from Art Dot. Isn't that good? Okay. All right. So this definitely must have been rounds. I can't even remember, but I know that we loved them. We loved them. I think there was maybe one more company at the first trade show when they got brought to us, but I forget who, and I'm sure they're gone now. Probably, I don't know. It's funny that over the last 8 years, has it been 826? 6, 7, yeah, 2018 till now. Wow, over the last 8 years, how many diamond painting companies have come into existence and faded out of existence. I think it's, you know, hopefully there can be a push to, make sure that, I'm going to give you a prime example of why. So at the retreat, this past one, Mindy mentioned Francesca's Studio Art. Now, I'm going to be honest, I had never heard of Francesca Studio Art. And Mindy said that she was already closed. And I'm like, what? And the shocking part to me was because her canvases are amazing. So I'm wondering if it was just too much for her. Hopefully, she's okay and she didn't get sick. But I can't imagine it being because no one liked the canvases. There's that. And my son saw one and went crazy. She had one of a lion, and he had a burnout and a block, a diamond painting block and a diamond painting burnout on a lion that he had been trying to get through for over a year, from AliExpress. He got it from AliExpress. It was just horrible. The drills were horrible, and some areas it was double-sided adhesive. So, but in some areas, the lion, I mean, the sticky was just it was sliding. He couldn't get it to stick and things like that. And it was so much work. But the lion, the coloring, the vibrancy behind the coloring was there. And so he would try and go back to it. He would try and go back to it. But it gave him not only a block, but he got diamond paint and burnout from trying to going back to it and things like that. So he sees the lion from Francesca's Studio Art. And I'm telling you right now, how he lit up, and how and on top of that, when I got home at like 2 o'clock in the morning from the retreat. I was so exhausted. I was so tired. I had a long travel day, a very long travel day. But he took this diamond painting, he opened it, he fell in love. I'd already showed him the picture, and he started kidding up that night. Now he had to go to work the next morning, so I'm still confused, but obviously he's got renewed fervor. He got renewed fervor because he has somebody that he's interested in that's now, diamond painting, and now he has a quality canvas. And I hate that she is closed, and that reaction that he's having to something, that she had. And, it's not going to amount to much. He's going to be able to appreciate it. He's enjoying it. He's loving the quality of the canvas, the vibrancy, the stickiness. Obviously, it's a premium canvas, a premium painting, but she's not going to be able to do anything with the exuberance that he had. And he went straight to it at 2 o'clock in the morning. I remember my daughter came and got me, and I'm like, "What is he doing?" I'm going to bed. She said, "Ma, why is he diamond painting in the middle of the night?" He started in the middle of the night, and he got to be at work. Like I don't know, but he got in a good few hours. I heard him going to bed. Like, what is wrong with him? But that's what a good canvas will do, right? How many of us have been so motivated when we get some? We can't wait to pull it out the box. We want to get started. I prefer, that's why I love Capture by Radiance. You know me, I like to work out of baggies. I'm ready. When I'm ready and I'm sitting here and I'm trying to put in time, let me just get started. I don't want to take a whole lot of time kitting up and things like that. But yeah. Matt says I went down a DP history rabbit hole one day and learned some from way before my time. That sounds amazing. Yeah. Linda says she got the lion. Isn't it gorgeous? It's really gorgeous. Modern art dot. I love those sets of round 30 by 40s. That's what these were, 30 by 40s. Squares, I like the art and priced well. Just got to fix the grid and make it tight. Okay. Okay, I like that. Um, I'm not somebody that I don't really focus on the grid too much until the work is done. Then I will go through with like my straighteners. I have a roller and things like that. And that new jigamarig thing that Tima that she has, that's ideal also for kind of pushing in, the sides. I prefer squares. I definitely prefer squares and things. So, yeah, that's what I would do after the fact. Tammy says she didn't stay around that long. She was really high in cost. I thought that's what I guess I'm hearing is that people felt that it was very high, but I mean it's good quality. It's really good quality. Peggy says I haven't seen it anywhere. It's a horse. I don't think it's a self adhesive. I'm not sure. We'll try to do your event if this one's allowed. Only been doing this since April. That means if something came out in April and it started in August, then you'll be able to go ahead and do whatever came out in April. You're in a great spot, Peggy. Because literally, like, hey, I started in April, you know, and here's my start. Like almost anything. Matt says every new diamond painter pulls an all nighter somewhere in the beginning, right in the beginning, But we're talking. Keep in mind, I started my channel with my son. He was my co-host until his hours changed. So we're talking 8 years in, and he's in the middle of the night getting excited, kitting up a diamond painting, and I'm like, boy, if you don't take your butt to bed, it's late. You gotta work in the morning. But that was that excitement and things like that. And again, that's fervor, and I just wish that Francesca had, a lifeline to where a few people, because again, remember I told you he doesn't really buy premiums. He doesn't shop Diamond Art Club. He doesn't shop Dreamer Designs, Captured by Radiance. He still shops AliExpress. And so that was such an amazing experience for him, to be able to get the artwork, to get something that's quality, to get a premium canvas, for him, it's like winning, top of the line, winning a Captured by Radiance. Imagine winning an Eden Cove. That would be it for me. The cat's meow. The past is the past. As long as we keep Lizzie at bay, I'll bring extra to the DP. I agree. Um, keep in mind, she wants rules. I don't want rules. You can do what you want, Peggy. Here's the thing. Unless Matt is giving out wolf tickets, how she gonna know? She ain't even here right now. I don't even think she got to work tomorrow, but I don't think she's still here in the chat. Lizzie probably knocked out asleep and stuff. Bring it in and see what she say. Donuts, donuts, whatever she calls them. um, you so silly, man. So it is getting about that time. It's almost 3 hours into the show. I appreciate that. If y'all remember back in 2018, we used to go long. 2019, we started an hour later. So we started at 11 o'clock Eastern time, and we ran 2 or 3 hours. That was back when everybody used to do 2 3 hour shows. Now everybody does about an hour. They're trying to keep it in line with whipping chats. Remember, Shawana gave me a list. Shawana said, you want to show your face, because when people see you, they'll probably, you'll probably get more viewers. That was spot on. I used to have like 8 people in the show at the start and 6 people at the end, because all you were looking at was my canvas. So once I started to maybe show my face and things like that, you can connect with me. You can see my face and things like that. That way you know who you're going to be meeting up with when you go to these retreats. And so that was ideal. That was great insight, great information. The next thing that she was telling me on top of, maybe showing my face and things like that was length and things. And she said, if you do a few shorts, which I've never gotten around to because I talk a lot. How do you shorten up? How do you shorten up 3 hours? You go two, right? We do that for morning laughs. Just saying. um, Tim Hortons. Let me tell you about this doggone Tim Hortons. This girl can find Tim Hortons like a needle in a haystack. I don't know how she can do that. We are in Saginaw, Michigan. She loved Timmy. Timmy. She found Tim Hortons almost soon as she got there. Oh, there we go. Next thing you know, she getting up every morning. She going to Tim Hortons. I would see Lizzie by 1 or 2, maybe by 12. It depends, But she already been to all the stores, Tim Hortons a couple of times. Like she was living her best life. I know how to keep her distracted. Yes, Tim Hortons is how you would keep her distracted. So with that said, like I said, I used to go long. We would have a good time. I would tell everybody all the happenings, what's going on, and just kind of, hanging out and things. I miss those days. I think I'm getting back to. I'm getting back to me, getting back to having fun and things like that. Don't be surprised if one day I come on here, especially if I've been drinking. I try not to do that before I come on the live. I used to do that when my mom stayed with me. If y'all remember my mother used to keep me tipsy and stuff. So y'all was getting a different Tia back then. But I'm tell you, she would get me tipsy and then she would, it's almost like winding up, the little doll and things like that. Get me tipsy and then she'd talk about something right before I'm going live, right? It should be in the background. Well, I know that's right. My mom had a real deep voice, and y'all could hear her in the background. She sounded like she was getting a stick ready. She's about to go beat somebody with it. And you could ask her some, like Cheryl used to have my mom in the kitchen doing all kind of stuff. You should cook and you should record it. And so she in there like, oh, I'm gonna do what she said to do. I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna go. And I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? Take pictures. You don't even have a camera going right now. What are you doing? And so she'd make another suggestion. I'm like, Cheryl, stop that. She trying everything because she want to be on YouTube and things like that also. But my mom is, got to be sense of urgency right then and there. And that's what she liked about the show and stuff. Like she had a built-in audience right then and there. So she'd be in the background zingering. She did it too. She would. Everything you said, Cheryl, she'd be out there like, oh my God. Sure had my mom about to try this cooking channel. I'm like, Mom, you got 1 subscriber. Stop. I told her she'd fare better just kind of coming in, doing a segment. What are you guys, how I like to do, what you working on, what's the weather like in your neck of the woods. I told her, what are you guys eating? How I did that in the winter. I always like to know in the winter what people are cooking and things like that because it's still hot here. What are you guys cooking? Um, and so I thought maybe she could come in and do a segment on the show. She thought she was going to be, instant. Uh, instant audience. Tia, time to pull out the cross stitch conversion. Look at her. I'm away this weekend. Monday, pulling out. Oh my goodness. You going back to Princess Tiana, huh? You want me to go back to the lamb? She sounds cute. She ran off on me in the middle of the night, Peggy. She met a man online. And it took me 4 days to find her. So she's real cute. She's 30, just like me. She's small, tiny. She's like Rochelle size. My mom is 5'4", maybe 5'5". I think she's 5'4". She's size, I want to say a 4, but she might be a 2. She don't have the shoulders that I have. My dad was 6'6", and he had shoulders. So she's really good looking woman. And yeah. But she got a little wrist. She got a little wrist, Peggy. And if you don't have a wrist, she gonna put something in your hand. She's gonna definitely put something in your hand, and she can make sure you stay hydrated. I guess dehydrated is better. My mother we went camping in the Arizona, the western rim of the Grand Canyon. The western rim is about an hour and 15 minutes from Las Vegas. Okay. We just going down because we bored. It's 2020. I need mama's mac and cheese recipe. Everybody asks me for that recipe all the time. Woo! Tell you that woman can make some macaroni and cheese. Whew. Um So we're going camping, Peggy, down on the western rim of the Grand Canyon. It's June though, okay? And I told you I'm a tent camper. So I have a tent, right? We didn't maybe plan this out. We bored. It's 2020. We bored. We tired of being in the house. We want to go somewhere. Good night, Linda. We want to go somewhere. We got to get up out of here. We want to go somewhere. So we decided we were supposed to be going to Santa Monica, which is in Los Angeles. And we had an Airbnb. We had let me tell you how long ago this was. We had tickets to the Ellen DeGeneres show. We had tickets. We was gonna be in the audience. We was gonna be cut. If my mom was there, we was gonna be on TV. I can tell you that right now. We were gonna be on TV. So all of that got shut down because we are sheltering in place, and we were tired of sheltering in place. So we decided the only thing you could do back then was go camping, or people, I don't know why, but people used to get in their vehicles and go to the Walmart parking lot and hang in the parking lot, like, mm, all I don't know. Ouch, that's fire, hotter than hot. When I tell you, we didn't think this through, because again, we was going to Santa Monica. Santa Monica is by the water. It's like the 4 blocks from Venice Beach. It's nice. We decide we're gonna go camping. We got all, I got everything. I got my own toilet tent. When I tell you I got glamping down, I got it down. I got a beautiful setup. It's beautiful. I have a condominium tent. I have a three bedroom tent with a living room and a front awning, so that it's like a front porch and things like that. So we have all of that. I have a camp kitchen with an oven so we can bake muffins and things like that. We're using propane, okay? We have all of that. I got a pump. Make you feel like you really, heat seating toilet. I don't. I do have a flushable toilet though. Girl, cause Cause I got to, and my toilet is connected. The ones that's connected to the sink make you feel like, you in an actual bath. I have all of that. Okay. I do. I have all of that. So we have a beautiful setup. We get there though, we hadn't checked. That's the one thing we hadn't done is maybe really check the weather because again, we were going to be in Santa Monica off the water. And usually, you need no black tanks. No. Well, for our toilet, because it's flushable, we do have it's like one of those portables. I don't call it a black tank, but it sort of is and things like that. Because you separate it, obviously you carry it in, you handle it like that. And then you go back and you attach it to the toilet. It makes things easy, real easy, and things like that. You're not using bags and stuff. But I have rules. The rules are number one only. If you want me to tote this, number one only. So you forgot the air conditioning. Cassette toilet. Yeah. It's it's a cassette. So so we we get there, and again, condominium tent. People are looking like they see how big our tent is. They cannot wait. Oh my God. They heat, seal, toss. I've seen that. Obviously we hear a lot about pine pellets and things like that. I was trying at the time to just, give an experience. So we get down there. Again, my mama is a good looking woman, maybe too good looking. We get there and it's all girls. It's 9 of us and we are going to have an experience. Now we are there for a week. I think it was 5 days. We were going to be there for 5 days. We didn't check the weather. We didn't check the weather. My mother brought the entire refrigerator. I'm like, Mom, she had like full size jars of shit. I'm like, Mom, we don't need all of this. She brought actual Hellman's mayonnaise. We don't need, what do we need this for? Like she thought she was gonna be out on the range making homemade potato salad and stuff. What are you doing? You know, she did not forget. She did not forget. She bought actual alcohol and beer. Okay. So she got alcohol, she got stuff to chase the alcohol. When I say alcohol, I'm talking about she got Hennessy in the damn Arizona desert. We on the western rim. We on the western rim of the Grand Canyon. And when I tell you we didn't check the weather, we failed. We failed to check. It's 118 degrees. 118 degrees. And this is day one. We just arrived. We just arrived. And when I tell you, you can't drink in 80-degree weather, let alone 118-degree weather. And my mom, bless her heart, she down there being all cute. And she don't care about nothing. She in the background, I'm gonna enjoy this. Mom, stop. My baby, y'all met my daughter. She working hard. We putting up this condo tent. We putting this condo tent up. And my mom standing around dictating and drinking. Mama is ready. I'm dying over here. Girl, you had to be there. The funnier it gets, the more irritated I got. Gonna put that goddamn drink down. I mean, she drinking, tossing them back. And it's 118 degrees. When I tell, oh, so irritated, my baby, we on the ground, we malleting, we trying to get this condo up, and it's 9 of us. You know what I'm saying? But she got the audience held captive. She over there telling stories to the rest of them, while we over here work. Shut up and help. She, oh God, she wasn't doing nothing but drinking and being cute. I swear. So I'm like, why don't you walk your cute ass over? Do something. Shake a shoulder or something. I shouldn't have told her that. I shouldn't have told her that. I should not have told her that. She go shake a shoulder, y'all, and meet some men. I don't know how she do it, but she do. She get these guys to come over and they pull up the tent. We good to go. Um, Obviously it's hot, you know. So we are trying to cool down at that point. There's no cooling down. It's 118 degrees. It got down. The lowest it got was 114 degrees. But here she is. She got two gentlemen, one on each side, that want to see her now. They want to try and shoot their shot. And I'm being honest, I know y'all heard about this. If you have been here for a while, it's getting dark, right? We done started cooking. You know, we done got our ice and everything set up. We got our water. We cooling down. She got gentlemen coming over. They want to shoot their shot. You know, she passing out alcohol and stuff. And one of the guys comes over and says the reason why we went in June, we were going to Santa Monica, is because we had three or four people, I think four people in that month who were celebrating their birthday. My mom's birthday was in June. One of my good friends, her birthday is in June. My son's birthday is in June. And then I had two cousins. So we were calling it the birthday retreat. Anyway, gentleman comes over. Both of them come over. One of them, he got a sack that he carrying on his shoulder and things like that. So he come over, and then another guy, he come running from a different camp. He come running over. He was one of the other guys that helped, pull the center poles up. And so I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? And the guy says, yeah, I come over here. I want to sit down and spend some time with the birthday girl. And I said, yeah, got the wood and everything. I'm like, wood? We gonna do a fire? I'm looking like he not the one. He not. It's 118 degrees out, and he just showed up with wood to make a fire. He No, he ain't the one. He can't be the new daddy. So I start being nice to the other. Start being nice to the other one, cause this one right here. Whoo. Anyway, yes, that was a real experience. This fool showed up with wood to make a fire in 118-degree weather. We got flashlights. We got awning lights. We he got firewood. We don't need any of that. Nobody's cold. It's nobody cold at 118-degree weather. It went down to 114. We still didn't need any firewood, anything like that. Oh, I'm done. Fire girl. Girl. Here's the funniest part about that story. My mom, she had been drinking all day. She's shrinking up and things like that. It's time to go to bed. We were right across from the showers and things like that. So she got on her jammies and stuff. We get into the tent. It's 3 bedroom. We got a living room. We all decide we're gonna watch a movie. So we're in the living room, and we got one of our little screen things down so we could project onto the screen. And my mom, she don't want to watch what we watching. I think we was watching Cars or something like that. She don't want to watch it. So she acting like, I'm gonna just go over here. She she's heading off to her room, and she hear shh. We live in the desert. And so lizards and things like that, they and she said, what is that noise? And I say, it's a lizard. It's crawling up the side of your tent. She start freaking. I couldn't get her to go to sleep. I couldn't get her to go to sleep. That was good. That was classic. Um, we were there the whole night. We had a good time. The next day, I think it got up to 120, and we was the last campsite to pack up and leave. We was there. We was dedicated. By 3 o'clock, whew, it was the last site. It was the last site. We went from 5 days on this trip down to it was a good one day, but it's hot. It's hot. It wasn't just my idea. Like, we showed up, there was other people that were there also. Ooh, it was hot. Have to go back one of these days, see if I could pull out that picture. She graduated, mimosas. Man, she was straight drinking, straight alcohol. There was mimosas have orange juice in them. That's refreshing. Nope. She got Hennessy. Who is drinking Hennessy in 118-degree weather? Come on, woman. Yeah, she did graduate from mimosas. She used to make them all the time. Here, I'd be on. I would be live. My mom passing me a mimosa. Okay, let me drink this mimosa. So those are good times. Those were great times. I think I had one morning. I think I was on Rebecca's live. Rebecca go live at 9 o'clock my time, right? And my mother passed me a mimosa. I'm on Rebecca's live. People were laughing. I would have been in the car with the air on. We would have been stranded each morning with no gas. Um, I offered that. I literally said, "Do you want to go sit in?" We had rented a minivan. It was nice too. And we had two of them going. And I said, these things are huge. Those were the kind where they had the stow and go seats. Oh my goodness. I told her, everything is out of the van now. Go sleep in the minivan. I would have been sleeping in there. How do you but because the lizards were crawling on the outside of the tent, boy, it was hard trying. I said, just hit the tent. She wouldn't hit the tent. How do you easy outside in over 100 degrees? Um, I mean, we live here. You know what I'm saying? We live here. So 105, 110, that's common. It starts to feel hot about 115, and so it just felt a little hotter. But I mean, I want to say we were thinking it was going to be about 110 and then dropping down to about 100 at night. So that which was, would have been a little bit more feasible. But a fire, how do you have a fire? Yep. And these men could not handle it. There were I want to say 11 or 12 campsites. Out of the 11 or 12, I think 9 or 10 of them were full because there were a couple that were still open. And we were the only all female camp group, the only all female camp group. There was one or two where they had like wives in their group, but they were might have been like father, four sons, and their best friends and things like, and then the wife there to cook, and things like that. But we were all female group, and then most of the campsites were all male, all male. There was one guy, he was there, a solo camper by himself. He looked like he was about to shrivel up. I couldn't believe it. He was sweating so much. But what we didn't understand, just like us, you do know you was going camping, right? Like it it was hot. It was definitely hot. But I mean, the Grand Canyon is in Arizona, and we were on the Western Rim, so it's not like we're in the Northern Rim. It snows up there, so it's cold and it's high desert. So you're higher in elevation and things. But where we were, most of the people are in the southern or the yeah, mostly the southern, some heading towards the eastern rim, but mostly the southern rim is where all the heat and all the action and things like that. We're on the western rim, just coming in, obviously, from Nevada before you head down south. And so it's pretty hot. It was pretty hot on our end of the Grand Canyon. I'll never forget that trip. I just won't go camping anymore until it's here. It's got to be maybe October. I want to say in October it's down into the 90s and things. It depend on the year. This year has been since since January. We've had great weather. It's been in the 60s. I think we've only dropped out of the 60s a few times, but we mostly been 60s, 70s. And then something happened in March. you know I don't know. I don't remember a lot of shade. There's not a lot of shade. You got to bring your own. You got to bring your own. Or you got to be next to. I mean, there was no cactus or anything like that. We saw off in a distance there was like a mesa. You know, mesa is like a flat mountain where might come up out of nowhere. It's flat, so it doesn't have a hill or anything like that. And I think we saw a mesa, and we were going to go over and see like what's on the other side of the mesa. But we didn't even do that because my mother she heard them lizards. And you could pick them up and things like that out here. They running around all the time, but she heard them trying to scurry up. They could only go so far. Obviously they putting their little nails into the tent and things like that. But she heard them trying to crawl up. I told them just shake the I don't know, could have been bunnies and some other stuff out there also. That's why you go in your tent. She was not happy. And can you imagine you get a little liquor in this person? What is that? Oh my God. Oh, she's hilarious. And I'm like, Mom, I kept telling her because when we were outside, you could start to see them coming around, your campsite and things like that. And so I shine a light, and they scurry away from light and things like that. She wouldn't get into the tent. And I said, Mom, you better get your purse and you better get up and get your butt in that tent. She ain't believe me. She's moving a little too slow. I shined a light and showed her one near her foot. Yeah, those are good days right there when I think back to how great I was. uh, but she could cook. She could definitely cook her butt off. She probably cooking, for this gentleman. Well, she's with another guy now. The guy that she ran off with, they were together for a little while. Things like that's the novelty of meeting somebody online and things like that. It may not always work out and stuff. So then she had to meet somebody else real quick and make other strides and stuff. She's I think she's okay, like with her decisions and things, so that makes a good deal and stuff. She's not getting no younger. I told her all the time, I don't know how you do it. You're at your age, she definitely appears and seems to be like my age or younger, on the surface. So Peggy says we were supposed to stay at the Grand Canyon Lodge in September last year in the lodge. Oh, that's the lodge that burned down. Really? I'm sorry you weren't able to stay. Oh, I don't remember a lot of shade. Yep, because there's not. They had one that burned down up on Mount Charleston also a few years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. That one used to be a good one to go up to if you wanted to change in temperature and things like that. So, obviously we live in the Mojave Desert and it's all desert like, conditions and things. You can see some beautiful canyons and, you know, but if you want to see snow and vegetation and things, you do have to go a little higher in elevation and stuff. And so they used to have a lodge at Mount Charleston that you can go up and stay at, and it was real reasonable. It's like $100 for the weekend and things like that. And you got to see beautiful scenery. You got to experience snow. You could take your kids up there and they could play in snow because you can't do that down here. And it burned down. I haven't heard if they're gonna, reopen it and stuff, but it burned. Oh, they canceled. That probably killed them, but yeah, they probably ended up having to um get their insurance cancel and then have their insurance pay them for all the reservations that they had to pay back. Wow, that's crazy. I feel for them. Well, it's been a great show, guys. Got me reminiscing. I blame Kevin Hart. Uh, this reminiscence started last night when I was watching that show Funny AF, and I just remembered my rounds coming through Funniest Mom in America. I ended up in like I think it was the top 200. That's how I got the birth out here. Um, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I had to go through several different rounds. I had to, change my material. I had to try it out. I definitely remember that. And so I got out here. I didn't make it, but I did book a show called Beecher's Madhouse. And it was like a slapstick comedy type of thing where they had midgets in the show. They had clowns, things like that. So that was kind of outside of my wheelhouse. Obviously I wanted to do stand up, and they wanted me, somebody that would do the slapstick comedy, pie in the face. I don't want a pie in my face. I gotta go and do my hair and things like that. But it was good, to have something to try and put, in a portfolio and things. So that's how I ended up out here in Vegas. I hope that was a long introduction to how I ended up here. I get a lot of people that ask, I thought I heard you said that she was a comedian and things, and how, I had to change my comedy up, especially after I became a mom and stuff. Trying to trying not to impact these kids, trying to raise, what they call it, productive members of society. I want to be walking around like, get your ass over here. You heard what the hell I said. Sit down. If I was that mom, once they came along, it might have been a different experience. So I toned it down a lot. But it's been fun. Thank you guys so much for coming. Always enjoy trips down memory lane. I do too. I do too. This took me back though um when I was watching Kevin Hart, and I was like, oh, I remember when I was in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a hard crowd. It's the single most hard crowd. I've been on stage in Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Atlanta. Um, I've been on to Nashville, Tennessee, which was a different crowd also. But Pittsburgh was definitely a hard crowd to overcome and things like that. And so their show just kind of took me back to when, you do that. Somebody actually had a moment where they completely forgot, and they were talking like mad trash in the behind the scenes. Backstage, you just got to know, you got to be confident, you got to own your stuff. And then he got out on stage and he blinked, forgot his set. And I've been there before. And so yeah, that was a trip, definitely a trip down memory lane and things like that. If you guys ever get an opportunity to do something where you can follow your dream, at least give it a try. I implore you. That's why you see me working towards these pins, because I want to be able to, that's my next dream, my next bucket list wish, is to be able to come and see you guys after I build my rough around here. Matt, I'm telling you, Pennsylvania was the roughest crowd I've ever tried to perform in front of. I'm sitting there like, yeah, and then there what goodness. Let me start that again, because I could come out on stage in a city. Let me give you Detroit. They was ready to laugh. I ain't even done nothing. I'm like, is it my outfit? Is it me? Like, cause y'all already laughing. What's going on? Like, I ain't said nothing. And then they laughing again. I'm like, oh, this is the kind of crowd that I like. But the same outfit, same entrance. I'm in Pittsburgh, and I walk out on stage. You got to do something. They just weren't receiving it at all. And it was getting silent, more quiet. And it was awkward. And you fight and you battling at that point. I'm like, and now they have a new thing. It wasn't big back then, but this new crowd work where people want to talk. Back then, if somebody started talking during your show, y'all about to come to blows. Now if somebody start talking during your show, you better be able to address it, because it's part of crowd work, and people are enjoying and being a part of these comic sets. They funny at work, they funny, in their kids' classroom, at the PTA meetings and things, and now they want to out funny you. So I feel like that's where crowd work came from. And it's hard, it's gotten hard. So it was a great blast from the past and, watching the show. If you guys get a chance, you know, taking the show on the road. It was interesting. I can't see you being a comedian. You're natural. It all depends. I did have a set. I could be a different person, Peggy, then than I am now, because obviously that's how I came down, and telling people about it. I've had to change my set up based on where I was at in life at the time. And I saw that in some of the comedians that I was watching. They made it out of round one into round two. And then when you saw them again, they seemed a little different and things like that. And that was one of the comments that I can't remember which comic said it, but that you could see, where certain comics are at in their journey. Your comedy does have to match your phase. I think your phase in life and things like that. I'm young, I'm 21, I'm drinking, I'm able to be footloose and fancy free. I'm a different person than I'm married, I'm a mom, and my child may see this. So your comedy does maybe kind of age with you, kind of grows up with you and things, if you can picture that. But it's been fun tonight going down memory lane with you guys, talking about, TV shows, what you guys are up to, and things like that. Make sure y'all come back and continue to support me. I thank you all for hanging out. It's been so much fun. I will see you guys next week on Hump Day Happenings. Bye.